Okay, looks like we are live here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to America's Most Dangerous Podcast, the Misfit Nation Podcast.
Nice.
I am here with a special guest. I've done his show probably quite a few times actually.
Yeah.
So finally good to have this guest on the Misfit Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, OG Mumbling Nick of Dabbling in politics, right? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to the show, OG Mumbling Nick. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, and I'm sure I'm surrounded by fellow liberals. I can't wait. I'm sure I'm ready to go.
Well, to I guess ingratiate you here. Me and OG Mumbling Nick have a good rapport. We have a very good rapport. So I like talking to him. We like to debate with each other. We definitely have opposing views on most things. And I think it's pretty interesting that we do get along so well for people who have such separate political views, based on what everybody says we should hate each other. But
right.
Yeah. But yeah, OG, let me just give the people, because I don't think most of our fans here know too much about you. Give like sort of a little bit about yourself and then your political background.
Sure. So my name's, you can just call me OG Nick, whatever. I used to go by just Mumbling Nick. I come from a little verse in the internet world called the Dabbleverse, which is kind of hard to explain, but it's mostly like hacky comics, and pretty much everyone there has some kind of link to like Howard Stern or Opie and Anthony, and then it trickles on down or whatever. But so it's a lot of like comic shit, ball busting, but everyone seems to be into politics, so I figured I'd start a political show. This guy, Stuttering John, if anyone knows Stuttering John from Howard Stern, he's the only one that had he had like a weekly political show, and it was hacky as fuck. It was just him and two other blue no matter who fucking Democrats, and it was just so annoying. So I started my own with a guy named Liquid Cryptid, he's more right wing, I'm more left wing. But I'm not as Krishan can attest to, I'm not a blue no matter who. I fucking hate the Democrats. I hate the Republicans. I can call myself an economic populist. That's more like a Bernie Sanders type. So I don't, I don't know. Krishan would call me a communist, but it's another story. But
I have a few times.
Yeah, but anyway, that's where I'm coming from. So I don't like the Democrats either. So I think that helps our relationship, I'm sure. In case anyone's wondering about the ridiculous mask, unfortunately, I didn't always wear it, but the Dabbleverse has some crazies that started to partly dox me and harass my family, so now I gotta wear it. Now it's just part of my thing, but that's how that all started. I'm one of the good white guys in hoods, trust me. But yeah, so that's basically, I've been in the Dabbleverse for a while, and most of my viewers are, I mean, it's a small show, don't get me wrong, it's nothing big, but most of my supporters are more conservative, but we seem to get along because we don't take it too personal or anything. And so as far as my political background, I'd say is I consider myself more like an activist than anything else. I have no interest in being a politician or anything like that. I would protest and all that stuff. Economic issues are more my thing. I mean, left versus right is interesting, but to me, I'm more of a top versus or bottom versus top. Like I hate the elites on both sides. I hate the fucking billionaires. I'm literally wearing like a Luigi Mangione sweatshirt. That's how fucking warped I am on that shit. So yeah. So that kind of lets you know where I am, I guess. And as we talk, you guys will figure it out more. But yeah, I'm not your standard liberal. I'm Boston liberal. I'm all right with fag and retard, so don't worry about it. We're good.
I get you. Yeah. All right, so I mean, I guess that kind of like ties into a degree because of what Luigi did as well. So we're gonna be kind of talking about the Charlie Kirk thing, not even the Charlie Kirk thing, more of the fallout from it. And the left wing right now is, a lot of people on the left are calling it cancellation. I don't call it that. And Nick, I believe is somebody who believes it's cancellation. So I'm going to let you actually kind of start. Give me your take on the whole thing of liberals losing their job over the Charlie Kirk saying the stuff about Charlie Kirk on the internet.
Sure. So don't get me wrong. This is if we have free speech from the government. We obviously don't have free speech from our employers and all that shit, and all that. But my personal take on it is if your employer finds the shit and it's really fucking bad and they want to fire you, it sucks, but it is what it is, man. But there's a lot of snitching going on right now. And now don't get me wrong. The blue no matter who Democrats did similar shit back on other issues. So I wasn't a fan of that either. When Alex Jones got kind of kicked off of all these platforms over the Sandy Hook shit, I thought what Alex Jones did was fucking deplorable, but it's also I knew it was a slippery slope, and here we are. Because if they can do that to someone as big as Alex Jones, they can do that to a smaller, independent media person, and of course they can do it to everyday Joes and Jans on the fucking internet saying whatever the fuck they're saying. And again, if the employer finds it themselves, I get it, because you don't. Sorry, we got a new dog. She's right next to me. Hopper, I lost my train of thought. If the employer finds it themselves, I mean, if like I said, someone says like, "Good, I'm glad Charlie Kirk died." Like, the guy was killed in front of his 2 young kids and wife. I mean, anyone celebrating that is despicable. Like, full disclosure, I even said something I regret, and I didn't say anything even near these people. I kind of said one of those. Yeah, even though I found Charlie Kirk despicable, what happened to him was blah blah blah. I shouldn't even have said that despicable part at that point. It wasn't even.
You more just disclaimered it.
Yeah, it was more of a disclaimer, but I wish I didn't even do that. It wasn't even.
It didn't need to be done.
Didn't need to be done. I realized that. I didn't realize it right away, but I realized it like the next day when I thought about it. It was kind of a, I didn't think it through. But these people openly celebrating it, yeah, it's gross. But I thought the right was against this stuff. So it seems like there's more revenge going on than anything else. It's people are getting very vengeful here.
So you see it as, even though it's despicable, you think it's still cancellation, is what you're saying.
Well, people are literally and don't get me wrong. Okay. People are literally, I mean, there's they're making a website or a spreadsheet or some shit, isn't there? Isn't that what's going on? They're with all the names and everything of people that said shit about Charlie Kirk they're trying to get rid of, trying to get fired, I should say, something like that. I don't know. It's a very coordinated effort going on. And also a lot of people are getting kind of lumped into it together. Like some people have said awful shit. Some people said shit kind of similar to what I said, and they're getting in trouble and shit. So it's becoming a very, very slippery slope at this point.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't even compare what you said to what most of these people are saying. And what I would, this is where I think most of the firings are coming from, and why I don't believe it's cancellation. What it is it's just employers not wanting to be associated with people who are celebrating death. And not only that, a lot of people on the left have been calling for other conservatives to be killed. And not only that, calling for Charlie's wife and kids to be killed. So I would bet most of my money that most of the people, if not all of them, that got fired for their comments on Charlie Kirk weren't just them making a joke or saying something like how you said, where it's like, even though I disagreed with him or I found him deplorable, he shouldn't have been killed. I doubt those people were fired for saying something like that. I guarantee you they were fired because they were either calling for death of other conservatives, celebrating Charlie's death, or calling for death of or calling for the death of his wife and kids. The second part is that the difference between this and cancel culture is that this is almost again, if not all, slander. You get what I'm saying? And that's not protected by free speech. Slander and certain things aren't protected by free speech, even though it is speech, right? So I think, like, for instance, you take like Jimmy Kimmel. A big part of why he was suspended is what they're saying, suspended indefinitely, which is probably, I guarantee you he'll be back. I think this is just like, let's let this blow over. But let's say he's actually fired. It's partially because he was slandering Charlie Kirk and also lying and spreading misinformation about the killer in order to slander the MAGA movement or Charlie Kirk himself, where they're trying to deem it that it's a MAGA shooter that was influenced by Charlie Kirk to go kill Charlie Kirk, which doesn't even make sense to me. So I'll just give you time to respond to that, everything I just said.
Sure. So this isn't a cop out. If people are calling for the death of his wife and kids, I am unaware of that, and that is literally the most despicable thing I've ever heard of in my fucking life. And yeah, fire those people. I don't care. See, here's the problem, and I hate. I don't know who gets to be like judge of all this shit, because like I'm here, I find myself judging. Like, you're telling me that people are wishing death on a fucking 1-year-old and a fucking 3-year-old and a widow. So
Yeah.
fuck those people if they get fired. Like, it's kind of like shit. I forget that show. There's a show where it's like, one conservative against 100 liberals, or one
Jubilee.
Jubilee. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. There was a guy that got fired because he would like bragged about being a Nazi or a white supremacist or something like that. And I was like, I was torn on that one, but I got it because he openly did it on a fucking show on the fucking internet. It wasn't like, but then again, I just caught myself because if people openly doing this on X, I guess their employer can find it. It's just, like I said, it's a fucking slippery slope. And supposedly we were against this. And the Jimmy Kimmel thing is, I look, I am not really I respect Jimmy Kimmel's stance on healthcare because of how he got kind of when his kid had that problem. But it's not like I watch Jimmy Kimmel. I don't watch any of this late night shit. But what he said was not bad. Like what I saw him say was, we got to remember when it kind of came out, information was still fucking wishy-washy. Even now, it's like, I don't even know if I buy these fucking text messages that fucking Kash Patel's trying to say came out. They're fucking whacked. It doesn't sound like something a fucking 22-year-old would say.
What was so whacked about it that a 22-year-old wouldn't say it?
Well, the number one, it's, I don't know, dude. It kind of reminds me of that shit. Who is that guy? Jesse Smollett, where remember he made up all that shit about the MAGA guys, and you're like, dude, there's a little like too much detail and shit going on here. Like, that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's some fucking millennial or whatever he's supposed to be, leaving these fucking these long fucking text messages, giving all this detail about like what I did, how I killed them, where I left the weapon. Like, there's a note they can't even find anymore, but he admits to it. All kinds of weird shit. Like, even
but there's people. There's people who literally record themselves committing crimes and then post it to the internet, and it's usually young people. Like, young people aren't known for making the smartest decisions, and not only that, like a young millennial texting long paragraphs. That's not really that shocking. You get what I'm saying?
I thought it was because I didn't think young people did that shit. I thought they were like quick with the shit. Because I'm actually a long message guy, and I'm in my 40s, and I get shit from all the younger dudes at work. So it's but
I don't get what makes you not believe that the texts are real, because I feel like this is like more of just like denial.
No, so all right, full this like I usually, this is what sucks for me. I usually don't go down this road. Like when people on the left were trying to say that the Donald Trump shooting was staged, and I was like, dude, they tried killing the dude. They tried killing him. It is what it is. Like, what? Don't make shit up. I just 100% do not trust Kash Patel fucking at all when it comes to any of this shit. He's fumbled this 8 ways through fucking Sunday. Like, he's fumbled the fucking Epstein shit. Probably part of it on purpose, part of it because of incompetence. And
how did he fumble this?
They didn't find, if the guy didn't turn, the father didn't get involved, they wouldn't even have found this dude yet. Like they had, like, I was watching the
but they put out, they found out who did it, and they put out his picture,
Yeah,
which
they put out
led to them. Yeah.
Oh, I
Which
saw
ended up being the actual killer. So they did ID the right guy.
I had the I watched the press conference that morning, and they were like, "Yeah, we got still shots. We're pretty confident we're not gonna have to put him out. We'll be able to figure out who he is." And then they put him out like hours later, and then like I don't know. It seemed, and Cash Patel twice said they had the shooter in custody, and it wasn't the shooter. He's just he's too, he wants to please Trump too fucking much. That's all he cares about. But
so you think he made up the text messages?
Dude, I'm not saying that, but I think it's fucking, it sounds so fucking weird to me. The whole thing, like, even like this, he changed his clothes. Like, how many times he took the gun apart and reassembled it, disassembled it, how many times, and then just left it for them to find? Like, I don't know.
Well, not all that information isn't out yet, but based on the information we have, it's pretty it's pretty obvious he was in a romantic relationship with his trans lover, and he killed Charlie Kirk based on his radicalization from left-wing politics because of the text messages. It says it. He thought what Charlie Kirk was saying was hateful, and it was his hatred that made him go and kill Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, like, dude,
so, like, would you say that right wingers would say what Charlie Kirk was saying was hateful?
Do I think what Charlie Kirk was saying was hateful?
No.
Oh.
Do you think like a guy like me or anybody on the right wing would say that what Charlie Kirk was doing was spreading hate?
No. So, dude, don't get me wrong. When this happened, I thought there were a few options. So this is before we saw the guy. So there was, the left wing option. There was the Nick Fuentes Groyper option, and even the only other option was a obsessed fan. You know what I mean? Not like sometimes these people are just fucking crazy and they shoot, like Charlie Kirk dissed them or something, so he shot him. Obviously, it's not that one.
Mark David Chapman kind of shit.
Yes, that type of shit. Yeah, and that shit's rare, but it happens. But I'm not gonna lie, being where it took place, I thought the chances of it being a lefty were less than usual. Normally, like if this was in California or something, or Charlie Kirk had shot at fucking UCLA or some shit, yeah, it's probably a liberal. Being in Utah, I thought, it was either someone even to the right of Charlie, or it was even possible, like they get a lot of like Mitt Romney type Republicans there that don't like Trump and those guys.
Well, that's where you get into like the thing of like the shooter, Tyler Robinson, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He was raised by a right-wing family. Yeah. Right. And a lot of the people on the left wing were trying to say, oh, well, that's evidence that he's a MAGA Republican. And it turned out that no, like he's had a lot of like problems with his family because they're right wing. And he kind of became more left wing. So just because he was raised by a MAGA family doesn't mean he's MAGA. Right.
No, it's true. And even to back you up on that, what's his face? So I can't fucking stand was raised very. Oh shit. That hold on. Who pretty much runs Trump's fucking like deportation, all his
Tom Homan?
Stephen
Miller. Okay.
Sorry, I mean like not the official, but the
yeah.
Stephen Miller came from a pretty liberal family, if I recall. He was pretty conservative even in high school. So yeah, that does happen. And I'm not even saying, dude, everything they could be saying could 100% be true. If it is, obviously, I accept it because it's not like I am someone that doesn't think it's a left-right fucking thing when it comes to this stuff. I think both sides do it. Sorry, go on.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but can I say this? Like, I remember me and you talked the night that it happened, right? And we didn't get into the debate because I wanted to be fair. Like, I believed when I just was like, okay, if you were to ask me to put my money on it, I would guess a trans activist Antifa type that shot him, right? And you were like going like, oh well, I don't see that, and all this stuff, but my thought ended up being almost completely right, actually completely right. So the thing is though that I think that's fair to guess. Like if let's say Joe Biden or somebody on the left, God forbid, got assassinated, I think for me to guess or for you to guess, I think it was a right-wing radical that shot him, even maybe a MAGA supporter that shot him. I would go, okay, that's fair. That's plausible. It makes sense. I just don't get the left wing's like pushback, like where like it's hard for you guys to accept that yes, it wasn't a trans shooter, but it was somebody who was dating a transgender. So it was somebody who was part of the LGBT movement, the community, and they shot him based on his left-wing radicalism. I don't see why there's so much pushback on that, or like hard to accept.
Yeah, dude, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Like I get, like it's happened before. It's not like it doesn't happen. I'm just saying, right when it came out, God, they even said that the shooter was trans right away. Like that's always where they go. And then there was trans shit on the bullets and that or the casings or whatever, and that turned out not to be true. It just seems there's always a rush to go there now. Even like I give you this, Charlie Kirk. Right, you're right. He's a conservative. Odds are, if you know nothing, odds are that the shooter has a better chance of being a lefty than not. It could be just be, biased by me, but because it was in Utah, and then I found out that the shooter was I think we knew that. Did we know that night that he was from Utah already? I can't remember. But once I found out the shooter was local or seemed to be local, I lessened my thinking that, and I know there are liberals everywhere, but because Utah, I remember like they weren't very into Trump, even though they're right wing, and Charlie Kirk is obviously was linked to Trump during all this. Like I said, they're more like the Mitt Romney type. So like I didn't know, it could have been somebody that didn't like what was going. Yeah, you're right.
Well, yeah, but that's almost a point to me in terms of like the radicalization of the left is that even in places that like you as a leftist, places that you wouldn't think there were radical left-wingers, there are. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's just take it back real quick to cancellation, right? Even in the terms of what we were being like, let me just grant you that the left is being canceled right now. Let's say that it's both cancellations. I don't even see in the cancellations how they're the same. Like in terms of like the right wing was getting canceled for, saying that there's two genders, for, not baking, a gay wedding cake, like kind of harmless shit. It was really just like, it was like the left had to really push that and stretch it to make it like, oh, well, the speech is actually harmful, right? The difference is that, like, I think celebrating a death and calling for more death of other conservatives holds a lot more weight in terms of like if we were to grant them as both cancellations. Does that make sense? Like it's not even the same if we were to grant it. Like I'll give you another example. If when it came to certain cancellations, like for instance abortion, I wasn't that passionate about abortion back in the day, but then when I found out, like I agreed with the points, but I was like, I don't really bring it up much on my show. But when I saw people were being canceled for it at a protest, I started speaking more about abortion, and then I ended up becoming more passionate about it. I realized in the speaking up about it that I had more of a passion than I thought I did. But if you were to do the same thing on your side right now and go, okay, you know what, I'm going to protest these cancellations and I'm just going to say the thing that these people got canceled for, you would literally have to threaten people's lives in order to do that protest. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, all right. Anyone that, number one, threatening someone's life is illegal. So if anyone that threatens someone's life, yes, should be fired. But a lot of people didn't do a lot of, like I said, there were some people that celebrated, and I guess that gets ticky-tacky. Not ticky-tacky. Like kind of wishy-washy because where that lies, because yeah, it is fucking deplorable. But the question is, does somebody lose their job over something stupid they said online? Now, if they keep going and threaten people's lives, yes. But
can you give me an example though of like something that's not the death threats or the celebrating of the death that somebody did get fired for?
Yeah, there were people that did similar. So all right, there were people that did similar things to like what I said, like maybe a little father, but not much father, being like, Charlie Kirk said, like they literally quoting Charlie, like Charlie Kirk said this, and shit like that. So it started the list. It kind of reminds me of the ICE shit where it started off with all the violent criminals, and that now we're just rounding up fucking everyday fucking immigrants, some even legal and shit like that. It got wider, and the net got wider and wider and wider. So, and
Well, that's a whole other debate, but
it seems to be getting celebrated on the right when supposedly they're the ones that said hate speech didn't exist, or against cancel culture. Like, I'm someone that, and don't get me wrong, this is where it's hard for me. Like, I stick with I believe, and I have to remember that yes, there are idiots on the left that were loved cancel culture and now hate it. Those people absolutely exist. Just like there are people on the right that hated it and now they seem to love it. I'm someone that was never a fan, and now so I'm trying to like stick to, because I believe you got to stick to what you believe in. Like the stupid mask. I didn't go out and dox somebody else just because it happened to me, because it's not right. So if you don't think canceling is right, you shouldn't do it. Losing your job is a big fucking deal, especially if you have a family and everything.
But I think you're still missing that it's not the same as cancel culture. Like, it's not the same. Like the right wasn't being canceled for the same thing that the left was. Like, if you can show me a left or a right winger from cancel culture that got canceled, that lost their job or lost their show or whatever, lost their platform for praising somebody's death on the left wing, or celebrating political violence. Like, if you could find that, then I'll agree with you that they should have been pulled for doing that. Because that's different. That's different from free speech. Free speech isn't like, death threats aren't protected by free speech.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like calling for violence is not protected by free speech. So people doing those two things, and like you said, it's actually illegal in a lot of cases. So again, if a company is like, well, you're doing something illegal, and here's a big part of it, that they're doing it publicly. Like, if they wanted to celebrate Charlie's death in the privacy of their own home, you're free to do that. You don't have to record it and put it on the internet. That's the thing that I think that's a big part that's missed. The element that's missing here in the conversation is that you're publicly recording it and putting it online, knowing that you work for a company who could fire you for that. We all know that when we sign up for a job.
No, right. The people that are doing that are not bright. You're fucking stupid. Like, even if you believe that, like I said, your company could find that themselves. And then, I mean, we all know, like, most states, I shouldn't say most states, but a lot of states are, they can fire you for whatever. You know what I mean? You have to prove there's some kind of discrimination or something. They can just, it's like these free to work states. So even if they didn't want to fire you for that, they can make up something. Oh, you stole fucking pens or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is really dumb to do that shit online and just fucking put it there. I 100% agree. And like I said, that if threatening violence, like I was unaware of threatening the wife and kids, like, yeah, those people should be worse than fired. That's just fucking unbelievable. But so this is where you're probably going to really disagree with me. I did a show once on this. I always thought cancel culture was kind of overrated, because like, if you really try and name a bunch of people that were actually canceled, you're not going to come up with much. You're going to come up with maybe I don't even remember how the cake version, like the gay wedding cake even turned out. I don't even remember. Did that guy lose his business? I don't even remember what the hell happened to that person. But
I think he ended up getting sued, and I don't remember. I think he won the case eventually.
Yeah, I thought he did too. Yeah, but I wasn't positive. Yeah. But like, if you think of famous people, Alex Jones maybe was temporarily, but on your right, you're never really canceled because there's all the workarounds and all the other platforms. On the left, I mean, Colin Kaepernick was canceled, and then I can't really think of much else.
Yeah, I think let's see. Roseanne.
Okay, I guess Roseanne's one. You're right,
She
Roseanne.
lost her show. Shane Gillis.
Nah, dude, he's thriving.
Well, yeah, that's just because he kept pushing, and he's actually funny. But he did get canceled off of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, so my thing, so all right, I think there's a difference sometimes too. I think corporations are fucking stupid, and they try and do whatever they think. Like take the I don't want to get too far off track, so I'll bring it back in after this. But the whole Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's, all that shit. Nobody on the left asked for that. That was just the company thinking, you know what, these seem a little outdated. Maybe we'll look good and blah blah blah. Like they do shit like that.
Like Cracker Barrel and all that.
Cracker Barrel. Nobody, dude. I don't even know anyone on the
No.
left with that stupid thing.
Yeah, but you're missing this. This is the big point. The people who are going into those companies and doing it are the left-wing radicals. Like the woman, the CEO who changed Cracker Barrel was a left-wing radical herself.
Well, maybe she was an idiot because that was dumb. But most of the time, they're just trying to do whatever they think will make them more profit. Like there's no such thing as a woke company. They just think if I look, I sell LGBTQ clothing in my store, they think more people will shop there. And the second there was like fight back, Target pulled all that shit out. They don't care.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong in that part.
All right.
Yeah, like wherever the wind's blowing is where companies are going to go. They only went with BLM because that's where the wind was blowing.
Yeah.
So now the pendulum's swinging back, so they're starting to sort of tighten up. A lot of companies are getting rid of their DEI programs, but here's the thing that I noticed: even if they're removing their DEI programs, there's still the DEI kind of culture that's there. So it's not like it's necessarily gone, but that's just people behaving how they want to behave. But yeah, I get where you're coming from as far as the business side.
Yeah, so like I think a lot of cancel culture gets like overblown because things that people think are cancel culture just weird decisions that companies are making, thinking it's going to make them more money when nobody asked for it. Like I even remember, not that this is cancel culture, but I remember briefly the NFL were going to play the Black national anthem and the regular national anthem, whatever the Black national anthem is. And literally the Black community was like, we didn't ask for this. We don't want, what the fuck song is this? Like, we don't want this. They just, instead of actually trying to help things, everything's like symbolic. So sometimes this symbolic shit, people take it as like canceling one thing and adding another. And it's really just idiot fucking rich people.
But see, I think I could use the same argument against you, just in the other direction, where you're going like, hey, I thought you guys were against this. I could just go, hey, I thought you guys were for this.
100%. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I have trouble with this because I stick with what I did. There absolutely were people on the left, lots of them, that loved when people like when they were trying to cancel Trump or whatever. You know what I mean? And like this is like that's what I said. This is a revenge thing. This isn't people. The sides love getting back at the other side. So there's nobody as a whole, not as individuals. But as a whole, there isn't like any sort of ethics or fucking standards involved in this shit.
But again, I think you keep missing when you're calling it a get back. You're missing that it's not the same. Like you're not getting, left wingers aren't getting fired for free speech. You're just saying it's free speech. Like again, if there's a left winger that's getting fired for saying, "Hey, I didn't like Charlie Kirk, but he shouldn't have been killed," I'll stand with you and say that they shouldn't have been fired. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we agree on that. Like I'm
telling
you,
something along the lines of what you said. I don't think you should be fired for what you said. So that's where I think, though, that I would believe that most people that got fired, if not all, got fired because they were saying the extreme shit. Because then you have like what is it called? Wrongful termination suits and stuff that companies are also afraid of. So they're being sure who they're firing. They're not just going like, "Hey, you voted for Kamala Harris. We're looking into like people who have left-wing ideology now and we're canceling them." That's not what's happening. That's what happened to the right wing, though.
So to be fair to you, I do have to look more into it. I know for a fact that like this whole whatever list some of these people are gathering, they're throwing people on there that said shit like me. Now, I just realized I don't know for a fact if they actually got fired, but they're trying to get them fired is what's going on. So you're right. I don't know if those people actually got fired, but they are like on this whole fucking list they're trying to put together for this shit. But there was shit on like when that what do you call it? That Minnesota, I always forget her name, but that Minnesota politician, her and her husband were killed just some months ago. There were plenty of people that made jokes about that and on the right and thought that was funny, and some of those same people are now complaining about this. Now maybe they didn't do threats or anything, but they definitely joked about it and tried to spin that. And they've done that shit like a few times. Like I think we agree. I don't want to beat it to death, but yeah, if anyone threatened more people, fired at the minimum.
Sure.
But
go ahead. Finish your thought.
I was just gonna say, but just saying you didn't like somebody or even making a sick joke, distasteful. But I don't know if you should be like have your livelihood ruined over it.
Look, I never say all of everybody is this or all of everybody doesn't do this. Like I always leave it open that yeah, sure, there's probably some right-wing radicals out there that would do some violent shit, right? Or have done some violent shit. Even if I don't know about it, I just give the grace that that's probably the truth, Again, though, I just don't think it's the same in terms of like the standard that we're held to. Like the thing of like, for instance, people were getting in trouble or getting fired for saying that, or getting even removed from their sport for saying that women or men shouldn't be playing in women's sports, right? And people were getting canceled for that. When in reality, that's just reality. So it's like the difference is that we're getting canceled for saying what's reality, just saying common sense, realistic things. I think there's definitely a difference, and maybe just because I guess we both might have to do more research on this, but
yeah,
I just tend to find that there's way more open, and like we said, this whole thing is based on because people were saying things publicly that left-wingers even feel more comfortable publicly saying violent stuff.
All right. As the left, I can tell you this. I think a lot of this is spiraling because obviously under Trump, the right is now more comfortable saying a lot of things. So maybe that's turning back around. I can tell you where this is actually concerning for me is it seems like certain left groups and speech is just going to try to be wiped out or attacked at this point. Like I understand the right, you bringing up the wedding cake thing and stuff like that. Well, on the left, you're not really allowed to protest against Israel or anything like that without getting, I mean, look what happened to everyone on the colleges and all that shit. Look what happened to the colleges themselves.
Again, they were getting physically violent though.
Dude, it's not even like, you can't even, like, they literally tried making it illegal to boycott Israel if you were a business. It's fucking weird. I don't want to sound
no, that's not even true. Like there's a lot of things that are being said that's not true. Like you can openly criticize Israel. You can burn an Israeli flag in America. They say that that's illegal. It's not illegal.
Well, Trump's trying to do that. Trump's trying to make it, and I don't think he'll ever get it through unless the Supreme Court really fucking folds. But he wants to make it 1 year minimum or prison if you burn the American flag. They arrested that veteran for doing it like 2 weeks ago, whatever. So you get that. The Jimmy Kimmel shit is just real quick, and I'll let you have.
Go ahead.
What bothers me about the Kimmel shit, because sorry, we got off track there, is I mean we all know that's because of the merger. That's because of the merger. The Trump and the head of the FCC are pretty much threatening Disney and whoever the fuck, I forget the other company, because they want to do this merger. And right now there's a law where one company can't own more than like 39%, and they're going to own way more. I don't know if it's of the company or the market, whatever it is, but they're going to have to own more than that percentage, and they're willing to lift it, as long as you get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. And it's not Kimmel himself. It's just what this symbolizes. Where now the current government is blackmailing or threatening media markets, and they're fucking folding. And he said Stephen Colbert was first, and he said Kimmel was second, and that's the order it's gone so far. And he says Fallon's next, and then Seth Meyers, and it's like he's trying to get rid of all these guys. This is like Kim Jong-un shit when it comes to the media, not the murder or anything, but this is.
I think
wild.
I think Trump is trolling you guys when it comes to that.
Nah, dude.
I don't think he really has any say in that. Like what? Like you're telling me that Trump has control over what, like, NBC says on their airways when all they do is criticize Trump. I guarantee you Jimmy Kimmel is going to be criticizing Trump on his way out. Like I don't think that's the issue.
No, I don't think they're coming back, but Kimmel. But yeah, I think there's certain guys I think Trump wants revenge on. And like Kimmel said what he said, nothing happened. And then literally the head of the FCC is like, we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. And he brings up the merger. And then like literally like less than an hour later, it's gone. Like,
well, FCC is like kind of in charge of what's allowed over the airwaves. Right.
Yeah.
Like so like again, like slandering a dead man on your airwaves might not be what's even in the legal parameters.
But I really don't think Jimmy said anything. Like it's such a nothing what he said.
I guess we could play the clip just so we're not just guessing here. I didn't even get to play this on my show, so but continue your thought while I look it up.
All right, let me just say, like every so often I glance at the chat. There's some things that came up a while ago I meant to address. So just the Luigi Mangione thing. It's kind of not that it's a good joke. It's kind of a joke. No, I don't. I'm just saying if he gets off like OJ got off, I'm not going to be disappointed. That's all I'm saying. And I thought the terrorist, thankfully the terrorism charges got dropped. I thought those were fucking absurd. But that's the kind of shit. A healthcare CEO is the kind of shit that I can't fucking stand because I think they kill people, not with guns, but they kill people with their decisions. So
what about that specific CEO?
Well, number one, any healthcare CEO, but United's the fucking worst. I've had United. They get the most fucking complaints. My sister does medical billing. She says they get more complaints for them than fucking anybody.
No. But my point is, what like that specific CEO that he killed? Like, what did he do?
Oh no. So all right, they had more rejections than anybody. There's the statistics say that. What is it like? I don't want to get the number wrong. I think it's like 3,600 a month or 40,000 people a year, some shit like that. Needlessly die because they don't have health insurance or their claims are rejected. So you got to know that people are dying because they want to like.
Well, what if that guy was one of those like people who didn't reject a lot of people,
but they rejected more than any other company, like twice the average. So they were the worst.
Yeah, what does that matter though? Like in like specifically that guy who got murdered, like, because I feel like you're just kind of like lumping him into a group, like as if like those CEOs or whatever, or those people in the healthcare are like a racial group. You know what I mean? Or a religious group.
I just mean,
how do you know that he has the same like? How do you know he's not like a guy like you that just wanted to go in and change the game?
He wouldn't have that job. They wouldn't put him there. You know that.
How do you know?
They wouldn't put him there if he was gonna not make them a ton of money. That's all they fucking care about. Like it came out later. Sorry, I got way off track. I was just answering the question. It came out later that members of the board were pissed because momentarily they rejected less claims than whoever the interim CEO must have been a little fucking nervous or something. So yeah, like I'm saying, it's more tongue in cheek, but every so often someone we know is guilty gets away, and it's usually some fucking scumbag like OJ. So why can't it be like a Luigi for once? That's all.
Because Luigi's a scumbag. He killed somebody in cold blood.
Allegedly.
We saw it on tape. What do you mean allegedly?
Well, I don't know if it was him.
Oh, so you think he's innocent?
I'm hoping. No, I'm just kidding, dude. It's fine.
No, what do you like? Honestly, what do you think? Like, do you think he?
You probably did it, yeah.
But you want him to get off?
I said I wouldn't be upset if he got off. If he's guilty, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, if the evidence shows he did it. But if he gets off on a technicality or whatever, why not? Fuck it.
Just because of who he killed?
Yeah, he killed the killer.
Based on like that the company he worked for?
Yeah, I maybe.
So like, okay. So for instance, like the janitor that cleans up the bathrooms and the maintenance man that keeps the building running, should they be murdered because they're helping the organization? Like, no, that's a logical question. They work for the company, they're helping the company murder people, right?
Yeah, they're not in the decision making department.
Doesn't matter. They're part of the organization. They're helping the organization.
We live in a corporate capitalist society. Everyone's got to make money, man. If you're a fucking janitor, you're a janitor. It is what it is.
Okay, so then there is a thing of like, hey, we got to make a living, and maybe there isn't like a nefarious thing with everything in terms of like this guy may have been there to like, maybe be there for like a good reason. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to make a change. I'm just saying, I think when you're going around just killing people, you're removing that possibility or even that hope of that's what it is. Like, killing people is just not it's never, it's really the end of everything.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I'm fucking, like I said, if I'm on the jury, I'm still going to do what's right. If he's guilty, he's guilty. All I'm saying is we've seen obvious murderers get off before, and it's always like Casey Anthony, you know what I mean? Or fucking, it's like, why can't it be one of these guys for once?
A lot of black murderers, black poor murderers get off on technicalities.
Maybe I'm thinking of just a high profile. I don't watch all that shit, dude. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. That's kind of like it cuts into your argument though. Like that this guy should, like, if he gets off on a technicality, it's no big deal that a murderer is going to be walking out on the streets because he's like, which by the way, Luigi was rich himself. He wasn't like some poor kid who was fighting for I think he just got lucky, to be honest. Dude, that he happened to kill somebody who was rich, and he's like, okay, I'll just get behind that.
That whole thing was weird because he wasn't, and I'm not just saying this, he wasn't like, he was like a centrist. Like his political things were like some left, rich, though. Some right. Yeah, he seemed like he was pissed off because he had a bad back, so it hurt to fuck all these hot chicks he was probably fucking banging. So he took it out on the insurance company, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's not a person that we should be like happy if he gets off on a technicality. That's all I'm saying. I don't think that's rational.
That's fair. Trust me, dude. I get shit for this one all the time. It's my one really crazy thing, I guess.
Fair enough. Let's because I'm not well versed on the Luigi thing anyway.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna deny you that in theory it's it is just a
morally.
Yeah.
Hey, look, bro. I'm all for dark humor. I don't have a problem with that. But I think there's like absurd humor and dark humor still has to have like a grounding in truth. I think to be funny. I think anything has to have a grounding in truth to be funny.
All right. If you want serious, the whole reality of it, then we'll move on. It was more of a point for me. It's not like an actual thing. It's just I went on this whole thing like when it happened, how we seem to be okay the way some people die, and like, if we see someone like Charlie Kirk shot right in front of us, fucking mortified. Well, I've seen Palestinian kids sniped too, and that doesn't affect people. Or when people die because they were rejected from insurance claims, it doesn't affect people the same way. It's kind of the point I was trying to make, that still death is death, and needless death is needless death.
Yeah, I think we agree on that. But the thing is that I think Israel gets a hell of a lot of criticism, and they're losing a lot of support.
Yeah, maybe recently. Like I even just meant for the I was just using that as an example, but I was just like, in my mind, and you can disagree with me, in my mind, the CEO made purpose decision making, and this is what's weird is he almost has a fiduciary responsibility as a CEO of a for-profit insurance company to try and make as much money as possible for the board. So it's almost like illegal for him not to do it, which is fucking crazy. That's why the whole system's fucking whack. But
again, you're just kind of adding that to him. Like you don't know anything about the guy that got killed. You're just basing that on like sort of caricature that you have of the the company or the industry itself.
Yeah, like I said, you're not people. I don't know. Like you're not going to get put in that position as CEO of United Healthcare if you're not going to make tough decisions that harm the health of people but make the company money. You're just not going to get that spot. So
maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I'm not big on insurance companies and all that shit. So, but then we're getting into healthcare.
Yeah, way off.
I don't know why we always like drift off into healthcare.
No, it was just right when I came on and I was explaining a bunch of there was a bunch of chats about me and Luigi, so I wanted to get back, just answer it at one point. That's all.
That's right. Yeah. All right, let's play the Jimmy Kimmel thing so we can see.
Yep.
We hit some new lows over the weekend.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Okay.
And with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. There's demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the thing that got him canceled was the beginning of the statement, was that he again was continuing the slandering of Charlie Kirk and that it was one of his supporters that shot him.
So this is how I took it, and like maybe
it's not even up for debate though. That's the point.
No, he said they're desperately trying to pin it on anyone but themselves. And sure, it ended up not being one of them, but without knowing anything, they're like, they're trans, they're Antifa, it's anyone but us. Like, that's not a lie. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, but we were right. We were absolutely right.
Then he can say you're right. Then that's that. But that he just accurately described what was going on.
No,
like I honestly don't get it.
It was almost like from when the second we started getting information, it was almost like obvious that it was a left winger.
Well, because there was one point I remember thinking it could even be just some fucking video game maniac that just like got obsessed with some fucking game. And I would never blame a video game. I'm just saying some of these young people, man, you know, they live on fucking line and they end up fucking crazy like Jake. And they fucking, you know, this is their whole fucking world. So I had even saw somewhere that everything carved in the fucking bullet casings came from some specific game that these guys played. And I don't think that turned out to be true either. So all this shit that kept coming out and you didn't know what was true and what was not. So no,
what I always heard was that it was like a meme for the trans, like the guys who are attracted to trans men or trans women. I don't know the fucking terminology, but it was the notices bulges thing, OVO or whatever, OWO. That was like a trans like positive meme that he engraved on the bullets.
Yeah, see, and I heard there was from some slang in some video game. Then there was the Chow whatever, which it could be the song, but somehow that was also linked to some game. Like this is all the shit.
That was linked to like anti-fascist song. World War
right.
II.
That was like the first thing they said, and then someone else was like, "That's what I mean." I don't know. And even one of them was like, "If you're looking at this, you're gay." I mean, that sounds like anti-LGBTQ. So it's fuck.
Not really.
Hey man, if you see this, you're. I don't know. That's how I took. Like, no, don't get me wrong. It's definitely looking like it's a lefty. I'm just saying, at the time, it was a mess.
The LGBTQ, they're known for like trying to make everybody gay in terms of not like trying to actually transform people into being gay, but like where that's their only like argument is like if you start making like logical arguments towards LGBTQ, they go, oh, well, you must secretly want to have sex with men. Like they always try to throw that at us as
That's what you're saying. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't saying like they are doing that too, but that's not what I meant.
I'll disagree with the other one, but yeah, they do that sometimes, and so like, and
that's the humor of it. I'm sorry to cut you off.
I got you, man. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The only like sometimes I don't have a problem when they do that because I think sometimes people obsess over that shit a little too much. But I know what you're saying. They do. That happens in a lot of shit, and if it's frustrating, it's happened to me in certain shit like I've been called sexist by people on the left because I criticize Elizabeth Warren, and I'm like, you fucking kidding me? The woman sucks. What do you want from me? So I get it.
Yeah, it's almost like when women call each other bitches, or like even like gay guys will call each other because we're on YouTube. I can't say it, but they'll call each other the F word for.
Oh shit! I think I said the word. I forgot. I'm sorry. I was thinking we were on Rumble.
Oh, did you? It's fine. Yeah. It's whatever.
I said at the beginning. I think
they call each other faggots.
Yeah. Now we're even. We each got.
We're tied.
Yeah.
But that's where I think the humor comes from. So that's like, and then when you add the other stuff, it's like it compounds that it does back up the more ambiguous stuff.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you this because I think when it comes to like even like, let's take it from a political standpoint of sort of optics, right? Do you honestly believe that and sorry, I don't mean to word it that way to be leading, but do you believe that the left has done a good job collectively at showing respect for Charlie Kirk?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Your honesty.
Yeah, no. And like in my opinion, and this I think fairly both sides may have gone too far in opposite directions. Like obviously if people are celebrating or threatening, and even the ones that aren't, there aren't a lot of people on the left reacting the way Ava reacted. There's just not a lot of that, like including myself. As I said, I became too I'm not even thrilled with my initial reaction, getting too desensitized, whatever you want to call it. So no, but I also think on the right they're trying to make this guy a martyr, and it's like, on flying on fucking the JV, the what's it called, Air Force 2, flags at half staff, all this stuff. Like they're acting like a head of state was killed. It was a guy that had a podcast and ran a conservative nonprofit that made him $12 million.
Well, he also was a big part of why Donald Trump actually is in office.
Yes,
right
he was
now.
a huge reason why Donald Trump was in office. 100%. Yes.
So he changed the outcome of an election almost single-handedly. That's pretty fucking important as a citizen. And then not only that, I guess I'll speak from my perspective, and this is where I think the martyrdom comes from, is as a Christian, he was murdered for expressing Christian values. He wasn't murdered, and that's where I think a lot of people belittle the whole thing. Is he wasn't murdered for expressing his mind or expressing his opinion. He was murdered because of what he was saying specifically, and it was Christian values. So at least that's how we see it from the Christian's perspective, is that he was, and just like seconds before he was murdered, he was literally preaching the word of God to people, to thousands of people actually, or hundreds of people at least. So that's where the martyrdom is coming from. It is coming from a religious perspective, but even if you were to argue it, let's say make a secular argument as to how he's not a religious martyr in those circumstances. And he also lived his life by the values that he preached, at least from everything we saw.
Well, if he's a religious martyr, then let the church fucking do all this shit and keep the government out of it, with the, the White House doing everything they're doing, JD Vance hosting the fucking podcast, the fucking vice president.
Well, that's because he played such an important role in the administration.
I don't know. Mr. Small Government all of a sudden is into, he's passed, but was into big government towards the end. There was a little sellout shit going on there. I guess as someone that's like an agnostic, this is hard for me because doesn't matter if it was a lefty Christian, I wouldn't have seen the martyrism, or any of that shit. Not that I'm the first to say this, but people nitpick what they want from the Bible. I mean, there's a lot of anti-Christian takes of his. He just kind of, I don't know, people like, I'm a Christian, and okay, that means I'm a good person. And like, I don't know. I never liked that shit, man. I have no problem if somebody wants to be a Christian, Jew, Muslim, whatever the fuck, but I don't think it automatically just makes you a good person or worthy of all this extra shit that someone else wouldn't get. It's just, it sucks to say because the guy was fucking assassinated and close up. So it's fucking gruesome. Left a 1-year-old and 3-year-old. So I feel bad criticizing the aftermath, but I think it's a little over the top. Can
I ask you a question?
Yes.
How did you feel when in certain states they ordered the flag to be flown at half mast for George Floyd?
I don't even remember that. I mean, that's a little weird too, because that's, that's weird too. That's one murder victim. That happens all the time.
Yeah, so it's been done before. I don't see, that's why I'm saying I don't see I don't think it should have been flown for George Floyd. However, at the same time, I don't think like it's some kind of sign that there's like big government or Charlie's involvement in big government because they flew the flags at half mast. I think this is just like an overreaction to something that happens all the time. Like they do it for situations like this all the time.
So just to be fair, I was using the flag as an example. I don't think it should, if you're asking my opinion, I don't think it should have been half mast for either of them. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it because to me it's all just symbolism that doesn't mean much. As far as the big government, I'm saying is like Charlie. I think Charlie Kirk started off like sincere when he was 18 or whatever, 19, whatever he was when he started this, and I think his whole thing was small government, lower taxes. Like it's two big fucking things. Then obviously it turned into conservatism, Christianity, family values, all that. But like if you're helping someone get elected president and you're working with them, like you're working with the government. You're like he used to call for all the Epstein files to be released on a website, totally unredacted, where anyone could see it, any citizen. And he turned that into, I'm not even going to question anymore. I trust my friends in the government. So he's friends with the government. All this stuff going on is government overreach with fucking ICE, with fucking sending the National Guard to all these fucking cities, cracking down. Like,
wait, how is ICE government overreach?
They're walking around dressed like me, not identifying themselves, fucking getting people up, just stealing people from the courts, not working with the states. That's big government. That's like Gestapo shit when they're fucking.
Yeah, but you know, they don't have to identify themselves like right away. Like, look, I agree that maybe like from a tactic standpoint, it might make sense to identify yourself before you grab somebody.
Yeah.
But they don't have to, like, legally. They have to eventually. Like they have to tell them, like, listen, this is why you're here. This is why we grabbed you. Like the second they're grabbing them, they don't have to tell them anything until the moment till the moment is like neutralized.
Like, how do you know you're not being kidnapped then? They're not fucking telling you. Like I'd start shooting back. First, Second Amendment, baby.
I'm sure they're saying they're ICE agents. They're just not telling them the full scope of things.
I could say I'm an ICE agent. Like you should have to do yourself. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, and that's just
but they're also here illegally, so like they don't really have the rights that we have.
Yeah, you're supposed to have right to due process if you're here, but also and they've
only if you're a citizen.
And I'm not saying all of it, but they've also accidentally grabbed legal citizens or people here trying to go through the actual process at court like the right way, but nabbing them anyway. Like that shit's happened. But
I heard most of those stories ended up being either completely lies or like not exactly what you're saying. Like they were illegal, but they were here on an expired green card or like an expired visa or something. Like it wasn't like they hopped the wall.
Yeah, well, obviously, I'm not going to know for sure. You're not going to know for sure, so we'll have to leave that at that. I'm just saying that's the shit I heard, and that, like I said, Trump sending the fucking National Guard to fucking DC, wants to send Chicago, LA, like that's the federal government overreach, man. It's big government, Now they're saying, and I know it's not over, but they're like, I'm not a fan of the Democrats, but I'm hearing people on the right like label the Democrats as a fucking what do you call it? A fucking terrorist group and shit like that. And it's getting out of control.
2 points on that. Trump is allowed to do what he did in DC because DC is under federal jurisdiction. So he's allowed to bring in the National Guard and bring in any kind of federal like unit that he wants to bring in to fix the crime problem in DC. So there's nothing illegal about that. Secondly, Chicago and these other states and cities, there's like some kind of thing that like if there's a really bad crime problem or even like some kind of like, let's say, uprising or something in that city, and the local government refuses to do anything about it, or even like there's a bad crime problem in that state or that city and the government refuses to do anything, the local government refuses to do anything, the federal government can step in at some point.
Yeah.
So the question is whether or not those states or those cities have gotten that bad, which I think the argument can be made that, like, if you're having 88 fucking homicides every weekend, like in Chicago, then yeah, maybe the local government should step in at some point. And if they're not going to do it and the citizens of that state and that city want that to happen, then the federal government should step in.
So to me, it's still big government, and if crime is down in some of these areas, then why the fuck is he doing it now instead of before when it was higher? He doesn't care about Chicago or LA or whatever. He's going after blue cities and blue states and stuff like that. It's like I said, a lot of this is revenge by Trump and the right. It's not.
No. You have to make an argument though, in that like, how is it revenge in our blue cities? Are they run very well, and are they known for having really good like policies on crime, or are they known for being very high crime areas? And also to your point of the thing about like the crime is down, I personally don't believe it, because there was a story that came out that like governors of certain like states or mayors of certain cities weren't offering up their crime statistics because they were trying to hide it. Like LA, I think Chicago is one of them. I think New York City is one of them, that there's no like recorded crime statistics, I think, in violent crimes since like 2020 or something like that. So just to give you like time to respond to that.
All right. So again, I don't think Trump gives a fuck. I don't think he cares if they get fucking crime or not. I think part of this is revenge, and I think part of it is and God, I used to not believe this. The fucking Trump crazies used to fucking tell me this, but it seems to be he's starting to just take like a fucking stranglehold on fucking, like he wants to make things look so fucking bad that maybe he's gonna try and declare martial law. Maybe he's gonna try and not fucking leave. Maybe I don't know what the fuck's going on. I was
Is
always
crime
telling
not bad in Chicago?
of course it's bad, but it's always been bad. So why now? Like why?
Because he's the president now.
He was president for 4 years. He didn't do shit. He didn't care.
Yeah, but so Obama was president for 8 years and didn't do anything, and he's from there.
Yeah, because he's just a corporate Democrat. All he cares about is. I'm not saying he gives
a
fuck either.
Exactly. So he didn't do anything because he's a corporate Democrat. Trump is doing something now because he's not a corporate crony.
He's a corporate
Doesn't that
Republican.
make sense? No. What I'm saying though, doesn't that make sense? Like logically from what you just said, if Obama didn't do anything because he's a corporate Democrat and that's what they want, then Trump fixing the problem would mean he's anti whatever Obama is that you just said, corporate Democrat.
He just says he fixes things when they're not even fixed. I mean, the guy, if you think he's not corporate, he's selling fucking Bitcoin and shitty watches.
No, he's got a corporation. Don't get me wrong.
All right, so
he knows how to make money. Yeah,
that's his number one thing: making money, selling his name, and trying to
The difference between him and every other politician, for the most part, is that he knows how to make money without politics. Every other politician, like most Democrat politicians and a lot of Republicans, only became rich after being politicians, which is a really good sign that they were involved in some kind of crony capitalism.
100%.
Political, yeah. So, like for instance, Ilhan Omar is a multi-millionaire now. No. Like you don't think there's something crony going on there, some kind of like fucking greasing of palms. So my point is though, is Trump was already rich before that. We already know what Trump sells. We know his business. You can go and like literally touch Trump's like fucking real estate. He has tangible business assets that you know that like he's legitimately at least a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. Then the foreign leaders can
go ahead.
The foreign leaders can put some money. It's like I'll stay at your hotel, I'll stay at your golf course, I'll buy one of your watches. They get to. That's how they bribe him.
They were doing that anyway.
I know, but you're not supposed to. That's against the emoluments clause of the Constitution. That's not supposed to happen.
Not if they were already doing it. They're already buying his stuff. He's not using his maybe he is. I'll give you some grace on that. Maybe he is using his place as president to strengthen his business deals and shit.
Thank you.
I'll give 100%. You that grace. Sure, maybe. I'm just saying, like, in that it's harder to, even in giving you the grace, it's harder for me to like see that as like he's putting us at any kind of risk because he's already a billionaire. Like somebody who's not a billionaire and who's kind of poor would put whoever the fuck at risk to become a billionaire or a millionaire. Yeah. So even just logically, it just makes more sense that he has less reason to put anybody else in harm. He's already a billionaire.
I think when you're these guys, they don't think like us, man. It's never enough for these fucking people. Like Elon spent $250,000 just to try and make more. You know what I mean? It's never enough. So
maybe I'll give you that grace, bro.
Appreciate it.
Because I've seen people like I've worked for corporations where I'm like where they're like cutting people's hours and you're like, who's here to run the fucking business? How much more money do you need?
Yeah, dude, we got the company I work for. We used to get these big yearly events, and we can't have it this year because they're doing work on the main campus building there. So they want to they're allotting us like $30 a person to go out and do something, and it's like, don't break the fucking bank. Like, what can you do for like $30? I'll get a meal, thanks, bye. Used to be this big fucking thing.
Now, I'll be fair to you and say what you call yourself as a socialist, right? You're kind of admitting though that it was at one point better to work for a corporation than it is now. Like there was a point where it was kind of like decent to work for a corporation. They kind of take care of you. They'd have like yearly events. Maybe they'd still shortchange us, but they were better at least back in the day. Because I remember, like, I got into the workforce when I was really young, so I remember certain corporations would actually take care of you. They'd have little events. They'd like have shit to keep the morale up. Now they don't give a shit.
No, you're right. Yeah.
They give zero fucks. We'll just hire somebody else. Turnover, fuck it.
Yep. No,
So I'm with you on that. Like the culture does need to change. There needs to be more like job security and appreciation for like certain positions and all positions really. Yeah. But yeah, like seniority needs to make a return.
Yeah. Just just my company personally, so it's probably not everywhere, but you used to get like little bonuses for things, and now instead of the bonuses, they give you points, and you can go to this website and buy overpriced things with these points. It's like, dude, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it's like fuck you.
Yeah, just give me the cash, fucking billionaires, and you're giving me points.
I remember I got I was like getting like a 10-year anniversary for a company I was working for, and they gave me like a sweater with the company's logo on it. I was like, boy, thank you. I live in Florida. This is going to be great. I could use this 2 days out of the year.
Dude, so one of the companies the company I work for now bought the company I used to work for. So the company they bought turned 25. I worked there when they turned 25 years old, and everyone got a fucking, I shit you not, dude, a fucking paperweight with the fucking name of the company and everything. Like, what am I going to do? It was like a decoration fucking paperweight. And I was like, cool.
Bro, I had a manager at a job one time that would call meetings, and she was abroad.
Yep.
And when women call meetings at work, it's just because they want to hear themselves talk. They want to have that moment.
Yep.
And she used to do this thing where she would ask questions, and if you got the question right, she would toss you a piece of candy. Like it was kindergarten.
Oh my God. Dude,
yeah.
That's like you're a puppy. Here you go.
Yeah. And I remember I got a question right, and she tossed me, and I literally just watched it, and I let it pass me, and I didn't even pick it up. I was at war with that bitch. Yeah, like, bro, I'm with you on, like, corporations are like shit now. They suck to work for. You got to almost be a mercenary. Like, I'm here for my check. So I feel you on that. But I think that there's a thing that, like, if we can even look back and go like, hey, corporations used to be kind of good to work for, or at least decent.
Yeah.
I think there's something in that like capitalism wasn't completely horrible. There's a part of it that we didn't appreciate, but now we see like, yeah, there could be a level of it that's really bad and fucking overproduced, mass produced, and it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, I think we tried to have the discussion before, and I couldn't explain it well enough. But like I said, I'm not entirely against capitalism by any means. Like I think certain things shouldn't be for profit. I just think capitalism's gone so fucking crazy in this country that it's just this crony, greedy capitalism now. There's hardly any small businesses can make it, and even when like a small business does make it, like an app or something, they always get bought out by someone else. And then like a Zuckerberg or one of those other assholes. So it's not what it used to be. Like you said, I don't mind older capitalism without all the corruption and there was always some corruption, but it's just gone fucking crazy now with the corruption and the greed that it sucks.
Well, I think part of it though is that this is where I think the individual standpoint has kind of like fucked the whole situation, is that a lot of people are afraid to stand up for themselves to a corporation. So I think if there was more and more people that did that, because I've done that myself, where like I've had corporations tell me like, hey, you need to put your pronouns on the name tag that you have. And I literally went, no, I'm not doing that. Oh, well, why are you not doing that? It's against my religion. That's all I'll give them.
Yeah.
And that's my right to do that. And my thing was like, okay, do you want to push that further? or do you want to just leave me the fuck alone?
Alone, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people on the right wing who I've had a lot of like criticism for didn't do that. They all went, okay, I'll put my, it's not that big of a deal. I'll put my pronouns on the name tag. And it's like, you didn't make it like known enough that that was against your values. So again, just like standing up to a corporation and just like the right wing, just so I could connect the two, like I do put a lot of criticism on people to stand up for themselves and to make their values known so that they're not alienated. So that because I wish more people stood up with me, and I wish I stood up more myself for my values. And I'm going to do that more now moving forward. But it's hard when you're the only one doing it. And I know there's people around me that feel the same way, but they're just too scared. I had a conversation in one corporation where they were like, listen, if you misgender somebody, you could possibly be fired for that. And they were like, is that all good, everybody? We were in a group meeting. Nobody said anything. And I literally stood up and I was like, listen, I think there's like no margin of error there. Like, I think like you got to give us some kind of like, if somebody walks up to us and looks like a man and he identifies as a woman and you want us to gender them how they want to be gendered, I'm getting paid. If you want to fire me for that, go ahead. But like at the same time, give us a margin of error where like if I accidentally do it, I don't get fired for that.
100%. That's actually absurd. Like,
yeah,
that I literally I went to college as an adult, and one of the classes, we had to do a project where we each had to do our own thing on some kind of discrimination, whatever. And I actually got the trans one, and literally in the research, the experts tell you like you have to be patient with that. Your like it was all about like someone that's transitioning and their coworkers like you got to give them time to adjust. They're gonna call you by the wrong name. They're gonna like. So that's literally how they taught corporations. So I can't believe your company was even like that. That's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah. And then here's the crazy thing is once I stood up and said some people started one by one standing up and going, yeah, this is a little off. We don't feel right about it. And then they just kind of like ended the meeting without any resolution. And then we never heard anything about it again. And that's the thing is like, I think if we would have just accepted it, that would have been it. And we could have got fired for it. And I think if just more people just on an individual level stood up to these corporations, they don't realize how much power we do have against corporations. We became subservient and scared.
No, I agree. Yeah. Like people need to band together on this shit. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
It's just a small thing. But once I had a new boss come in and he I was the only one that kind of got along with him, but he was in the military overseas. He came back. They put him in a position he actually was not qualified for. I think it was kind of just because he was a hero and everything. But one of the first things he did is he emailed everyone in the group, and he's like, "Can I have your name, your title, what you do, how much you make a year, this, that, blah, blah, blah." And I filled most of it up, but I didn't put how much I made. And then he asked me like why, and then I was like, "Well, you're my boss, so you probably have the right to find that out, but that's something you can find on your own. I don't know if you have the right to know all that and this and that." And he actually respected me for standing up and not doing it or whatever. And I remember he ended up fighting with somebody else because he found out someone made more than him, that it was under him. So it ended up being a whole thing. So just it's a small thing, but sometimes they even respect you if you stand up, if you get the right fucking person.
Yeah. And they don't like that, but at the end of the day, you got to remember these companies are just afraid of lawsuits.
Well, you're 100%. Yeah.
So use that to your advantage. Nick, can we debate on a point, like, because the cancel culture thing, I feel like the best way for us to like really get through on that is to actually debate a point that has been canceled. So like, for example, like if you could come up with a point on the left wing that has been canceled, you can bring that up and we can debate that. But like, I don't know what's your favorite thing to debate, I guess. And then I'll figure out something from there.
Favorite thing to debate.
I love racism. Yeah. I love sexism.
honestly, it's probably not the sexiest thing, but I usually I usually debate that, and there actually is a connection to Charlie Kirk. Maybe I actually think that, and if you agree with me, then we have nothing to debate. But I think that people like Charlie Kirk are just like the mainstream media in that their real job is they're trying to divide people, left versus right, instead of, so we fight left versus right, which ironically is what we're doing, instead of fighting the working class, banding together, fighting like the government or the corporations or whatever.
But see, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, that's where I'm trying to like forward the conversation, because we could debate left versus right, but I think it's more beneficial for us to actually debate the morality or even a policy or whatever the fuck from the left versus right perspective. So that way we can,
Okay, a certain policy. Yeah.
you get what I mean? Like, where we can like at least see like, okay, was this worth being canceled over?
Gotcha. All right.
So like, let's take even abortion, the border, like anything that like the right wing, like COVID lockdowns. Like, there was a lot of things that the right wing got canceled over that I'm willing to debate, but I just don't know what you like to debate. So I'm trying to figure out that before I.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out something where someone got canceled where I would actually agree they should have been canceled.
How about racism? I don't think we've ever debated racism before.
Sure, we can do racism.
All right. So, where do we start with that? Okay, so people have been you'd agree people have been canceled for things that have been either racist or deemed racist, right?
Yeah, that's why Roseanne was canceled, correct? I'm trying to remember. She took the Ambien and said something. Yeah, okay.
Her thing was that she said that I think some woman, I can't remember her name, from the Obama administration was like raped by the Muslim Brotherhood or something like that. Her thing was that she was working for the Muslim Brotherhood.
Gotcha. All right.
And yeah, so I don't know if that's the thing we're gonna debate, but well, let me think of something that somebody was considered racist. I mean, but the left is just like so easy to like, because the border, that could fall into anything. Blackface.
Ted Danson's blackface. Yeah.
What about the idea of somebody being canceled for something racist they said or a racist joke they said? Because I think you're a good person to ask, being from the Dabbleverse, and we're all like fans of the Opie and Anthony, Howard Stern days, and back then they were all known for saying some pretty off the wall racist shit. But it was said in humor, and the thing is though, how do you feel about that being brought up? Like, hey, they made racist jokes 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Let's cancel them for that.
Yeah, all right. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, I will say this. I am against that. I remember, even if it's not even, this isn't racism as an example, we can get back to it. I think Kevin Hart lost his Oscar hosting gigs because of jokes he made in the past, like anti-LGBT jokes. So people have to remember, jokes are jokes, and things evolve, things progress, things that were acceptable 10, 15 years ago maybe aren't acceptable now. Like the first stand-up comedy I ever listened to was like fucking Eddie Murphy in the fucking early 80s. I didn't hear it till probably like 1990 or something. But I mean, he said shit, racist shit about age, shit like shit. No one says that shit anymore. So no, I don't think if you dig up some old jokes, racist jokes somebody made 10, 15 years ago, that they should get in trouble for it.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Continue.
I was even going to say this. I even question if they should get in trouble for it now if it's a joke. So,
okay, let me extend the conversation though. What about somebody who has a view that could be considered racist, like, but they're serious?
Yeah.
And I'll give you one if you need an example, like one that I even believe, so we could even debate that.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, like I believe racially profiling is actually a good thing.
That's right, you told me that. Yeah.
I think it. Let me just explain my I'll give you quick points. I think it actually helps. Profiling in general is a huge part of identifying criminals, identifying patterns of criminals, like certain types of people who will become criminals or possibly become criminals. We're not doing pre-crime here, but basically, I don't believe, like, for instance, hey, the police should be stopping and frisking every single black person they see. But I do think there is a type of black person who we can identify as more than likely being a criminal type. Just like you can do with any race. There's white people that you can see that go, oh, that guy's probably up to something. Like there's certain behaviors, there's certain characteristics. You can tell when somebody's on drugs, for instance. Yeah. So what I'm saying though is, like, I think racially profiling is part of profiling in general, even from the part of identifying somebody. So, like, let's say the police are looking for somebody, and the description is that they're wearing a white t-shirt and blue jeans. It narrows it down more if you know the race of the person, at least the skin complexion of somebody. So if you say a black guy wearing a white t-shirt and blue jeans, now that narrows it down to like a way more narrow kind of group that you're looking for. So it's just it's just another identifying characteristic. I don't think it's a racism, even though I can agree that it is racial because it is race. I just don't think it's harmful. I think it's actually helpful.
Yeah, and so I guess it depends how you do it, like the way I think you described it. I don't like if you're describing a criminal or describing a potential criminal, like there was
Potential
witnesses, or like there were witnesses, or I mean, even now with the DNA, you can tell if it was you can sometimes tell if it was a black person, this is male, female, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm fine with that, but I'm not fine with just like you said, every black person going down the street, stop and frisk, doing that shit. But yeah, like I said, if it fits a description of somebody they're actually looking for, sure. But if it's someone committed a crime, they don't know who the fuck did it, and they just stopping every black person because they think fucking it must have been a black person, then no, I'm not in favor of that. But like if there's some reason that they think it's a black person, then sure.
Okay, but what if they stop the wrong person? However, the description matches. Do you think that's racism?
No, I've actually, when I was 17, I actually thought I was going to get wrongly arrested for something I didn't do because I fit the description. And dude, there were so many coincidences. I'll tell the story real quick. It was like the summer. I graduated high school at 17, so it was like the summer after I graduated. And getting ready to go over my buddy. I was dating my friend's sister at the time. We're getting ready to go over their house. Well, my buddy had to cut his grandmother's lawn real quick. So I was just chilling with him. He cut it right when we're pulling out. See a bunch of cop cars flying with their lights on. So he turns to follow to see what the fuck's going on. After a little bit, he's like, fuck it. He turns around. The car we were behind, cop car, they turn around and start following us and pull us over. And he's like, is there a problem, officer? He's like, yeah. And he points to me. He's like, your buddy fits the description of someone that basically just whacked the fucking old lady in the back of the head and took her purse at the fucking supermarket.
Jesus.
So I'm like, fuck. So I had long hair at the time. This guy had long hair. The guy supposedly had a white shirt, t-shirt with blue lettering, and black pants. I had on a white t-shirt with blue lettering. Over it, I had a button shirt. And I was wearing black shorts that used to be black pants. So they thought I threw the fucking shirt over it and cut the leggings off the pants. They I'm looking back now, it's probably an illegal search, but they tossed my friend's car looking for the leggings, looking for the fucking all this shit.
I like that. That's the most like white trash shit I've heard
Yeah,
you ever say.
dude.
There were white, there were black pants that turned into black
yeah,
shirts.
dude. So this was like the 90s where like grunge, like look dressing like that was like cool. So I used to always have that grunge look or whatever. That's why even though it was summertime, I had had a shirt over the fucking t-shirt and everything and the long hair.
You were
But
looking like Stevie Richards.
yeah, I thought I was Eddie Vedder back then and all this shit. So, and I was worried that it sounded like the old lady probably didn't get a good look at the guy. So what, some 9-year-old lady going to be like, that's him? So after they didn't find anything, they kept us on the side of the road, and they said they were bringing the lady to like identify me. So I'm waiting, and then all of a sudden they just let me go. So they must have found the guy somewhere else during that time or something. But yeah.
No. What they do is they secretly have the witness drive up, or a car probably drove up and then drove away.
Gotcha.
So she probably was like, "No, that's not him."
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So yeah, even us honkies get that every once in a while, I guess. So yeah, but yeah, I fit the description, so it is what it is. You know.
Well, that's where I think, for instance, racially profiling becoming this thing where it's like evil that's where a lot of it came from. Is that it was that they stopped somebody who looked like or fit the description, and then it's considered racism because just because I'm black.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's because there's a little bit more to the description than just black guy. Otherwise, we'd stop every black guy.
Yeah, I watch a lot of police videos, and it seems like there's both of that shit going on. I find that in these police videos, the most patient cops end up with the most obnoxious fucking people, and then you have like the shitty cops always end up with like doing some fucked up thing. Because like, what the fuck? It never seems to work out where the shitty cop gets the obnoxious motherfucker. You don't mind like seeing something happen to him, but yeah, I see a lot of times on those videos where you're right, the cop's just doing his job, but the guy's like, dude, you're doing this because I'm black. And it's like, no. But then other times, maybe they are doing it because I think it happens both ways, unfortunately.
I mean, again, I don't put an all or nothing on anything. So I'm sure by the statistics, maybe there are cops out there that have done racial things or racist things. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, and I'm not belittling that. I just don't think it's this like overarching issue where it's like all cops are getting this this bad rap of being racist, or even the idea of racially profiling. A lot of people say that's just racist unto itself, and I think that's just missing a lot of the context. And the fact that they don't do that anymore has affected the crime problem, has actually inflated the crime problem. It's made it worse because people can't be honest anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that one. I mean, like I said, I watch a lot of that police stuff, and usually, if someone calls 911, the cops like, closed, and dispatcher, I mean, they're like white, Hispanic, black, and they usually ask that question. So I don't know. I assume they're being honest when they're like black.
Yeah, they're not going though like, what's the race of the perpetrator, white, Hispanic, or black, and then they go white, and then they click. Like, oh, let him do his thing.
No, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. They're still looking for him. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, there was a guy named Jimmy the Greek. He was probably the first person I ever remember getting canceled. There wasn't even like a word.
Look at that monkey run.
that was Howard Cosell didn't even get canceled for that. Yeah.
Oh no, that wasn't Jimmy the Greek. You're right. That is hard.
But yeah, Jimmy the Greek was the one where he looked like a guy that was called Jimmy the Greek, and he worked on that NFL show doing like the point spread shit. And he was asked some question on like MLK Junior Day, and he said something like the black athlete is bred to be the better athlete. Because back in the day, the slave owner would take his like most muscular athletic male slave, and the female, and like he said all shit like that, and he ended up losing his job over it and saying he was racist. And I remember there was a former black NFL player that worked on the network, and I saw a documentary, and he's like Jimmy was not racist, he wasn't educated, and they said he was embarrassed by his lack of education, so a lot of times he would just say things he heard or whatever. And dude, I don't want to say it, there's probably some not total truth, but I'm sure they
no, there is truth to that
stuff to that, so it's not like entirely off. But looking back, I don't think he should have got canceled for that, and I don't think so at all. If it's if you have to investigate, if the person isn't viciously racist, wanting awful, like, if it's just a slip up, it is what it is. Yeah.
Well, sometimes the truth is offensive. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing that I think a lot of people have a hard time grasping.
You just saw me, dude. I was holding back from saying that there was some truth to it, even though I believe there's some truth to it.
There is. Yeah, there's nothing. But that's the thing. There's nothing offensive about saying that, Nick. Like it's the truth. Like if people are offended by that, it's just because they can't accept the truth. Like slave drivers breeded their slaves to be stronger. Like it's also like logical. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I get it. Like I can get the whole thing. Like I don't fucking empathize with slave drivers.
Right.
Yeah. I think slavery is horrible, but I can actually look at it from a historical standpoint rather than an emotional standpoint. Like I can even accept that there was it's funny because we had an argument on I forgot who I was debating. I think it was Shmuel. And I was arguing that there was equal opportunity in slavery. And I think that's true. Like that if there were black slave drivers, then there was some sort of equal opportunity in that black people could own slaves too. So there is a and Irish people were slaves at the time. So there is a possibility that there was a black slave driver that owned a white slave.
Yeah, like I honestly got what you were saying. I do disagree somewhat because obviously you could be born slave. Like they didn't have the same rights. I get what you're saying. There were black slave owners and everything, but they didn't. Which I was actually surprised Shmuel didn't know that. Like that's not something I knew when I was young, but that's something I found out like as a young adult, and I was surprised a man of his age didn't know that. I was actually surprised. But yeah, my belief is somewhere between both of you. I don't think it was equal or anything like that, but it did exist. It was options for some of them anyway. And
yeah,
even thinking about the athlete thing, like you said, like I said, it's uncomfortable to think about, but there has to be a reason why there seems to be more black athletes playing more of a certain sport or a certain position or a certain, I don't know. It's not everything, but there has to be something there. And I don't know what it is, but it could be the breeding thing. It could be, but you're right, because people are afraid to sound racist even by looking at things scientifically.
Or genetically.
It's like genetically, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I can see that. It's that's almost a form of not cancel culture, but people afraid of being I guess it's cancel culture. Afraid of being canceled, even discussing it. Yeah.
It just shuts down conversation where it's like I don't think either of us hate black people.
No.
I'm sure there's people in the chat that probably think one way or another, but and I always say I don't hate black people, I hate niggas. I won't say if Mumbling Nick backs that up, but my point though is that like I think we can be racial, we could even be racist. I don't think that means that I hate anybody.
Yeah.
Like I have to be a racist in order to racially profile.
Yeah, I guess you do.
The worst thing I can happen, because I racially profile all the time, or I profile all the time, because racial is just a part of it. Just because of what my job is. And the thing is that like none of it has to do with hatred. Like I catch people doing like crimes all the time. And when I catch them and I have them there and I'm talking to them, like I talk to them like a human. Look, we all make mistakes. I'm not judging you right now. You know what I mean? Like that, like I try to bring them to God because I'm a Christian, you know. That's really all I can do. So I'm just saying, like, but none of it has to do with like me hating anybody. It's just, let's be real about things and let's get back to a sort of grounded place. I'm not trying to, like, the worst that could happen is I racially profile somebody or I profile somebody and think they're going to do something and then they don't do it. And I go, oh, I was wrong. My judgment was wrong. I don't think I'm a bad person. I was just wrong.
You just reminded me of a story of something that happened to me probably like 5 years ago at this point. I used to live right near a supermarket. I could walk to it. So sometimes if I just needed a few things, I would just walk over there. So I'm walking over there, and it's in a plaza with other, there's pizza place, a fucking Dunkin' Donuts, and a bank, and all that shit. So I'm walking right about to enter the plaza, and there's gonna be like a one-way street with some fucking houses and apartments on it. And right when I'm walking there, right around the corner, this like young black male is running with 2 shopping bags in his hand, and he's running, and he runs around the corner, he runs down the one way, gone out of sight. And all of a sudden, whatever, 30 seconds later, I see 2 employees from the supermarket running, asking me if I just saw somebody, which way you went. I'm like, with the shopping bags? He's like, yeah. I'm like, down that way. And he's like, did you recognize him? If you know if he lives there? So I didn't recognize him, but there was one black family that lived on the street. And I didn't tell them because I didn't want to, like, in case he didn't live there, I didn't want to, like, say I was profiling that he lived in that house, because I have no idea if he even lived on that street. But I ended up giving him no information because I was like, I was literally afraid if they knock on this black family's home, accusing them of stealing, and it wasn't them. So, I kind of wussed out on accidentally racially profiling, if it was them or not.
Listen, I and what I do is looking for people who steal things, and I do undercover surveillance and shit like that.
Yep.
And depending on what area I'm working in, I have different profiles that I'm looking for. So if I'm in a different area, one of my profiles that I found was older white women who have big, like, purses. And almost all the time I catch them stealing. All the time. And that's the thing is racially profiling doesn't have to do with, oh, black person or minority. It's just, I'm trying to build a profile to do my job. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And everybody that I catch, people that I don't catch, I treat everybody the same with the same exact respect, as long as you treat me with the same respect. So that's how I go about things. And I think people demonize that when it actually helps people do their job and helps bring down prices and helps solve crimes. And I think, and the point of why I wanted to have this conversation is because this is one of those conversations that you could get canceled for or lose your job for. And in reality, there's no hatred here. There's nothing, like, I don't think me and you were being hateful at all.
No, so I'm trying to think, if I had your job, in my heart, it tells me I don't think I would profile, but I'm not you. So if you're seeing a certain type of person, black, doesn't matter, like you said, older white woman with a big purse, if they've been, that type steals, you see them stealing more often than not, I'd like to think I wouldn't pay more attention to that, but I probably would. You probably would.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's one of those, I don't even want to say sad. I don't even want to say grim. I don't even know how to say it, but it's just a reality of life. And I think a lot of people, unless you're in the position, you wouldn't understand. And then it's like, I'm not even in the position of a cop. But from what I do, it's like, I don't even see how I could do this without profiling. So for me on my level, where at the end of the day, I have to call the cops.
Right.
For me to say, oh, I could do it, but they can't. because they're in a higher position, or they can do this or they can do that. It's like honestly, I can't like I don't understand how they could do their job without profiling. And then that goes up the ranks. I don't know how an FBI agent could do their job without profiling. Secret Service. How do you look out into the crowd and know who's probably going to kill the president? There has to be a profile you're looking for.
Dude, you made me think on this one. Like this, I'm against it, like morally, but I'm trying to think reality wise. You know, I'm trying to be honest with it. Like, yeah.
And morally, what's your feeling of like morally why you do? And then we'll wrap up after this because we're getting up on the 2-hour mark. Morally, what's your like feeling of why it's wrong? Like, what's the moral feeling?
My afraid is the slippery slope. Like you said, if someone has a big bag, okay, keep an eye on them, whatever color they are. Like I'm actually, someone lives in the city. I walk a lot. And I'm a backpack guy. If I got to go somewhere, I usually take a backpack with me. So if I go in a store, a lot of the stores around here actually make you take it off. But if they don't, I see them watching me. You know what I mean? And I'm not wearing the mask. I'm just a regular white dude walking around with a backpack. So I think the bag is like a profile. But if I found myself just, I don't know, I would be afraid all of a sudden I'm just looking for young black male every time, no matter what, if they got a bag or this or that. Like I don't think that's right morally, but like you said, if you see a certain group, a certain type with a certain accessory robbing more often than not, then just subconsciously you'll even just start looking at them more, you know, I would think.
And let me tell you this. I agree with you on that. Like, if your only profile, your only characteristic is young black male, or even white woman, or what, not only do I think that's immoral, because you're just kind of like just using one characteristic. Maybe immoral is a little strong. I don't know if I would. I gotta think that a little further. Okay. But I'm telling you from experience, you're not going to be successful. Like, you're not going to be successful at what you do. You have to have multiple characteristics, and then you have to add behaviors on top of that. That's where profiling gets into actual profiling. Racial profiling is just one aspect of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's where last point I'll make. But I appreciate you, being open-minded to that, and you understanding that it's not racist to have that conversation. No one should be canceled for that.
I try and think things through, sometimes in real time. That's how I've changed my mind on certain things during certain live streams and shit. So, because I'll think about it just my way, and then if someone presents it to me a different way, I try and think about it practically and reality wise. And sometimes you find myself changing my stance, or at least understanding somebody else's stance on things. So,
well, my last point is that if it's making society better, I'm helping solve crimes. I'm helping put away criminals. I think morally I'm doing the right thing. That's what, and you could call it the justification or whatever, but I truly believe that. If I felt like I was doing the wrong thing, I wouldn't be doing it.
Gotcha.
So, and I also feel like most people in positions higher than me, like police, and most people in my position, I try to give the benefit of the doubt, and I believe most people are doing it for the right reasons. So that's where I'll end that. Nick, I'll give you the last word on whatever.
I was going to be a smart ass, but I won't.
Go ahead.
I love that. No. I was going to go free Luigi. Bye. No. No, I want to thank you for having me, man. I want to thank the chat. And just so you know, guys, it was live. I know a couple of wise asses said it wasn't live because we weren't paying attention to the chat, but I like having conversations, debates, whatever you want to call them, with people on the other side. I think it helps. That's the one thing I think, if I had to say something that Charlie Kirk did that I did appreciate. It's these, unfortunately, I think most of the time Charlie and the whatever dumb college kid he was talking to, their goal was to just one up each other or get the soundbite or whatever. But it's still good to talk. You know what I mean? It's like the guy that was talking to Charlie when Charlie was shot, he actually put out a really good video. Like he actually was pretty shaken up by it. And it was obviously tragedy, but horrific tragedy, but we need to talk to each other more. We need to be more open-minded. As I said, the universe I come from, even though it's a ball-busting comedic world, it's like got to be like 90% right-wing, conservative, MAGA, whatever you want to call it. So just the fact that I have a channel and people watch it and it's political means they have an open mind and I have an open mind, and Krishan has an open mind, and I think that's what's important. Have to be willing to talk, and more importantly, you have to be able to listen. So thank you guys. Thank you.
Another thing real quick, Nick, before you go, I just wanted to say I think it's also not just being open-minded, it's also having some discernment, because there are people who probably, I have you on, you're a leftist, they want me to be on here screaming at you,
right,
but me and you have a rapport. Yeah. Like I know like I personally don't believe you truly like are celebrating the death of the CEO even. Right. You get what I'm saying?
I know.
Like yeah. So maybe people who are watching this that are, you know, fans of mine don't understand that me and you have talked multiple times before this and that we have a rapport. But I just think that we definitely need to still have some discernment. There are leftists that if they came on my show, I would definitely be way harsher on them. If I knew they were celebrating Charlie's death and all that stuff, and I just don't believe you're that guy. So that's why, you know, just so people understand that. And also, I'm not just trying to yell at people and do all that shit for clicks. I truly don't give a fuck about that shit. No. I want to have open conversations where we all feel comfortable to talk, even other lefties that aren't fucking completely lost. So that's where I come from. Last thing I wanted to say, OG Mumbling Nick here. If you can, I know it's a touchy subject, but I've been banned by Boston Jake, and I was wondering if maybe you can open up the lines of communication there.
I'll talk to Boston Jake when I talk to Shmuel. But you know what's funny, dude? Shmuel sent me the link to his show. It's like, get back to fucking Krishan. Don't fucking be messaging me. What the fuck? But
what? Shmuel. I got you.
I think he's live. I think he went live at like 10 or some shit like that. But yeah, no, Boston. I will definitely talk to Boston Jake. No fucking problem. We'll get you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I didn't feel right that he banned me. I was being nice, and you know, things got out of hand.
Guilt by association. That's what it is.
That's what it is. I sent him an air fryer.
Yeah, should be good then. Good.
Hey Nick, thank you so much. Tell the people where they can find you. And let me just back you up before you even say it. I love Nick's show, Dabbling in Politics. I've been I've gone on his show maybe once or twice, but I'm always in the chat because I actually love their show. I love to watch a lefty talk to a conservative. I think it's just an interesting thing, dynamic. But go ahead, tell the people.
Will do. So it's just OG Mumbling Nick on X and OG Mumbling Nick on YouTube. And the main show is every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, called Dabbling in Politics. It's always me. It's always my right-wing co-host, Liquid Cryptid, and sometimes we have guests like Krishan and others. So if you guys want to like, subscribe, tune in, we'd appreciate it. So thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming on. Shout outs to Liquid Cryptid. I love the guy. He's brother in arms on my side. We've fought many battles together. All right, Nick, thanks again, man, for coming on. We got to do this again.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
All right, brother.
Peace.
Be safe. All right, guys. You can just exit if anything. I'll do a little outro.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah, shout out to chat. All right, thank you again so much for Liquid Cryptid, OG Mumbling Nick for coming on. I'll just shout out the chat before I get the fuck out of here. Let's see what we got going on. Brian Brumbelow, OG, also an OG. Lisa Marie, Oh, well, you know, I won't call her an OG. Well, I guess if Wendy Williams can be an OG, I guess we'll let Lisa Marie be an OG. She's an OG. She's like Cocaine Cowboys, the chick from Cocaine Cowboys. Let's see. Who do we have? Waco Mind. Yeah, he was kind of going off on me all night. Jerk off. Let's see. I can't tell if he's a groiper or a lefty. That's my new thing. I just can't tell the difference half of the time. Groiper or lefty. Let's see. And also let me just say too, with the whole Jake situation, that's why I appreciate, excuse me, I appreciate OG Mumbling Nick, because even though he's definitely, and me and him have gotten even way more contentious than that on his show. But again, we have like a rapport that you guys haven't seen. So that's why, and that's my fault because I don't promote my fucking appearances like an asshole. But yeah, there's we've gone through certain things like of me calling him a commie and all that type of shit. So this conversation, again, like there's certain people having discernment that I want to see if I can get to. And like, for instance, the racially profiling conversation, Nick said that he sees where I'm coming from and he hadn't thought about it from that aspect. So I personally, and I said it on the show that the live stream I did before, that there's some people that I think we can still get through to. And I feel like OG Mumbling Nick is one of those guys. I feel like he's right on the edge. Even though he is the whole Luigi thing. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Yeah, I couldn't let the Luigi thing slide. But I'm glad one of you guys brought it up, because then I didn't have to bring it up randomly. So it worked out. Brian Brumbelow, I shouted you out. I'm trying to see Waco. Sorry, I said woke. Just came off naturally. President President Trump calling for random acts of violence, a dictator, villain, wannabe. Again, no, like fucking, like not even a direct quote. No evidence that he called for violence. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I bet you your example is a complete reach. Complete reach. Charlie Kirk. Oh, I forgot I could show. Look over let me sit up like a fucking gentleman. Ugh. Charlie Kirk spouted divisive rhetoric and fit all the requirements for being a stochastic. Why are you speaking German to me, you fucking commie, you Bolshevik? Terrorist, whether he realized it or not, he's being used as a pawn while he's dead. He's not being anything because of you people. His death is being politicized. Yeah, obviously. It was a political death, you fucking retard. It was literally connected. It's political violence. These goddamn idiots. The number one amendment is the Constitution is about to be taken away. The fuck is he even saying? What is he even saying? He's spurging in the comment section. Groiper. He was in an abusive crowd where they feminized dudes to be their significant other. Wasn't that like and I'm not a fan of Groipers at all. I'd love to take down the Groipers. So if they are really a bunch of queers, which This guy has no, like, again, it's just like the political violence thing. You have no place to say anything. Like, if they are really like homos, I'd get behind that because I could believe it. I believe Nick Fuentes is a bit of a toe tapper. You know what I'm saying? But I have no proof. I have no evidence. That's just my conjecture. And yeah, if that's true, that I like, show me the evidence. I'm all in favor of it. I'm all in favor of making fun of the Groypers. But Groypers aren't, they are, I guess, right wing, but they're not MAGA. That's the thing you fucking retards don't understand. They've removed their support from MAGA. So even if this guy is a Groyper that killed Charlie Kirk, he's not MAGA. Literally, the leader of the Groyper movement removed his support from Donald Trump during the last election, and then in the past like a couple months, he said that we'd be better off with Kamala. Nick Fuentes, look him up. Maybe you never heard of him. So yeah, even if it was the Groypers that did this, that's not MAGA. It's not the same thing. They're not Trump supporters. But like I said, you know, liberals are always like fucking 10 years behind on what's actually going on. Let's see a little bit more. Charlie was a bully. He used his platform to attack people and bring religion into politics. Well, this is the thing, is religion is directly connected, or politics, I guess, is directly connected to religion. Like, we're talking about ideology and fucking moral values. You don't think that ties into politics? You don't think what you're doing is your fucking moral values, even though your moral values are like, you know, completely cognitive dissonance, and there's no like, you know, it's all contradictory. Everything. And you don't think that left wing politics is a religion unto itself? So yeah, I mean, like, how about you don't connect your fucking morals to politics? Because that's where Christians, for instance, and most religious people get their, I think all religious people get their morals from, is their religion. So yeah, how about you don't bleed your fucking shitty morals into politics and make some good decisions for once in your life? Raised Republican, not MAGA, says Brian Brumbelow. I guess he's talking about the shooter. Yeah, I mean, he was you know, indoctrinated with fucking left-wing radicalism. You know the whole deal. I know you're smart enough. I know you're smarter than this jerk off in the chat. Let's see. If he's talking about the Groypers, he's a goddamn moron with this comment. Who did they vote for in the last election? Is he talking about the Groypers? Somebody tell me. Let me see if I can find the fucking context to this stupid fuck's comments. Let's see. Yeah, last thing he talked about was the Groypers in the comment section. So, who did they vote for? They didn't vote for Trump. They didn't vote for Trump, the Groypers. How about you fucking look it up? I don't know. Look up Nick Fuentes, the leader of the Groypers, telling his supporters what to do in 2024. It wasn't vote for Trump. I guarantee you that. I don't think it was even vote for Kamala, even though that's where he was at, 2 days before Charlie got killed. Now all of a sudden he's had a change of heart, which, may be true. We talked about it earlier on our earlier stream. However, I got to see a little more proof. Two people I'm holding to the fire: the leftists and the groypers. Certain leftists, most leftists. And I guess I have to be fair and say most groypers. Because if I'm going to say most leftists, you know what? I'll say all leftists and most groypers. That's a little more accurate in my mind. Let's see. Still going on. Yeah, see, that's how I know he's talking out of his ass. Dude was radicalized by Fuentes style diatribe. Yeah, because Fuentes was preaching to, and I'm no fan of Fuentes. All of my people, my Misfit Nation fans in the chat know this. No fan of Fuentes. But I know for a fact Fuentes wasn't encouraging his followers to fuck transgenders. So that's a bunch of horse shit. As much as he was against Charlie Kirk, he wasn't encouraging his fucking fans to go out and kill Charlie Kirk. He was going out and telling them to tell him he's not a real Christian. That's still a debate point. That's not fucking violence. Hey, Waco Mind, if you're still in the chat and you want to come on the show, you can always come on the show. Just follow me and I'll follow you back and we can set it up. You fucking dickhead. Let me get off of this jerk off unless I see another one. Let's see. Too many people have been canned for their words throughout history, even in the U.S. This is an increase of authoritarian action. It's funny how you didn't say that during COVID. Funny how you leftists made every excuse why companies were able to fucking fire us for saying there's only two genders and that women or men, men shouldn't be playing in women's sports. But I bet you'd go and say that's actually divisive fucking rhetoric. You know. Everything's authoritarian. Unless the left is doing it. Again, the jig's fucking up. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody gives a fuck. You have no credibility anymore. Wait, what's this? I haven't seen this name before. IICKABOD Crane. I don't know the beginning of that shit, but I see Crane. I love reefer. All right. We're good so far. We're good so far. It's not the point of the I don't know what that even means. I like to feel people out before I fucking... $47 Trump. I'm a left-wing hippie. Now I'm feeling there's some sarcasm in that. Little sarcasm going on there. I don't know. F your guns. B word. You might be a lefty. Convince me to buy a gun, Brian Bung Holio. Ugh. They just don't have good, like, a good sense of humor. Any of them. Again, they're 15 years behind on everything, even humor. Convince you to buy a gun. Okay, you're sleeping. It's the middle of the night. You're snoozing, you're drooling on your pillow. You're humping your body pillow because you're having a little wet dream. You're making cummies in your boxers. You know what I mean? And then you hear a bang. Where's the money? Where's this motherfucker at? And you wake up and you're like, I think I heard voices. And then you hear footsteps running around. You think, call the cops. How long do you think the cops are going to take to get there? What are you doing? Are you grabbing a knife? Or would you like to have a gun? Let's say you have kids and there's a home invasion and they're tying up your kids with a fucking phone cord because you still have a landline like a fucking retard. And they have your daughter tied up in the middle of the living room. We're about to rape this bitch. You hear one of them say, confidently, what would you like at that moment? A fucking banana? A boomerang? Or would you like to have an equalizer? Maybe a machete? Hey, that's even better than nothing, right? But I think a gun would be nice. So I don't know if that doesn't convince you. I think you're just a pussy. You're just a fag. No offense. Okay. Unless you have a logical answer. What would you do in that situation? And I'm serious. What would you do if you didn't have a gun? And they have guns, by the way. Even if they have machetes, let's just say they all have machetes. What would you do without a gun? Tell me, dickhead. Now your I love reefer comment pisses me off because I know you're just a fucking stupid hippie that sits around and smokes weed all day and does nothing with his life. Okay, let's see. Oh, I did see that you said something about like when I was talking about being in a meeting and I spoke up. And you said, so what? Just walk out of the meeting and laugh. Yeah, see how that fucking works. You don't have to argue your point 24/7. And I agree with you, actually. That's the part that I wanted to bring up. I pick my battles. But to tell me that I'm going to get fired from my job because I might misgender some fucking dude that wants to have a little moment, that wants to have his internet moment. Yeah, again, at least I argued for a margin of error. I didn't argue like from an extreme standpoint, even when I could have. Because my extreme standpoint in your eyes is actually common sense. It's common sense. At that point, they can fire you for fucking anything. So all you lefties who are all about like, hey, I'm all about the working man, and I'm all about the guy on the low spectrum of the totem pole. But you're all in favor of fucking billionaires being able to fire me at their goddamn whim. Go fuck yourselves, you jerk offs. Again, the jig is up. No one believes your horseshit. Go back to the drawing board because your arguments don't work. And again, I guarantee you, I'm going to be confident. I'm going to be overly confident on this. I guarantee you, In the midterms, you guys are fucking losing. You're losing. Landslide, loss, embarrassment. And if you don't, then I'm going to consider that being that most of the left wing are fucking extremists. I think that's fair for me to assume. For me to assume. Let's see. I saw Skrillard in here. I think I saw Skrillard. Uncle Jay, shout outs to you. Skrill Kill. Good show, he says. Good show. Really good show. I know Skrill would have said that if he was here. Can you pronounce my name Krishan? No, and I don't give a fuck. I'll just call you Crane. I'll call you fuckface. I'll just ignore you, if anything. I don't look at the chat. Are you kidding me? I'm only looking at the chat right now because nobody's here to talk to me. Consider yourself lucky. Showcastic? I don't know what he means. Okay, let's see. No, F that. Everyone profiles everyone inside their own brain. It doesn't need to be protocol. Okay, so we should just lie then. We should just lie. I should just continue profiling, or FBI agents should just profile and just pretend they're not profiling. Actually, that's what people do. That shows how fucking like ambiguous and useless your goddamn worldview is. Because it's like, hey, let's just pretend. That would be better, right? All right, whatever. Same results, dumb nigga. Same results. So I'll just stop talking about it. We'll all just secretly do it. It just won't be protocol. Sure. Don't know what the fuck that solves in your mind. Fucking retard. Now he's talking about more about this, his parents that raised him are MAGA. Okay. That fucking answers everything. I bet you, Crane, I want you to be honest, and I bet you won't be honest, but what was your parents? Do they hold the same political views as you do? Mine don't. Well, one of mine don't. Portion of my family agrees with me. Doesn't mean anything. It's not proof of anything. Fucking just like grow up. Just accept what it is. We're not playing this game anymore. You have to prove it. I'm not arguing it. This guy was left wing. It's fact. You're on the outskirts, dummy. Kamala's so drunk all the time she can barely wipe her ass. Thank you, Skrill. You added a lot there. And you're right, though. It's facts. Hashtag facts. Let's see. I jerked your mama. All right. Sorry, I'm a right winger. My mama is not transgender. That's you lefties. That's your shit. You can't jerk a woman. Especially my mom. She's a fucking battle axe. Let's see. And my mom married a black man. What are you talking about? She had kids with a black man. She can't be racist. My mom could literally walk around all day just saying the word nigger. just bellowing out the word nigger, and she's still not racist. That's just how it is. That's just the way it is. I wouldn't know Skrill kill. This guy's in denial. Obviously, Kamala was drunk off her ass most of her fucking campaign. Bill Clinton needs to confess. Can we agree on that? I don't know. What are you talking about? Oh, that he was on Epstein Island. Sure. I think we can agree on that. I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna put the mic down and we'll leave it at that. Is that all right, Crane? Skrill says he's on the way back. What happened? What made you want to come back? Yeah, I can send you the link. We can go another 2 hours. I've slept every night so far. I haven't needed a gun yet. Yeah, that's the point, jerk off, is you don't know when you're going to need it. So just have it around. You don't want to have that moment come up. It could be once in your lifetime that you need your gun. It's like a fire extinguisher. You might need it once in your life, but aren't you glad it's there? Aren't you glad you could put out that fire? Jesus Christ. It's just obvious, isn't it? And then he makes the fucking like snide comment. Good night, man. Conversations are good. Nice debate, I guess. Fuck off, jerk off. Fuck off. Come back again. But fuck off tonight. Hey, if you want to come on the show, you're open to come on. Just follow me on X at Krishan the Don, and I'll have you on. I promise you. And I'll be fair to you. I'll be fair. I'm the only person that can moderate my own debates. That's how fair I am. Let's see. My sister is MAGA. There you go. So you're MAGA then. You're MAGA. You fucking white supremacist. If you kill somebody, it's because you're a MAGA. He is left wing raised by right wing, the party of patriarchs. Yes. And that's been my argument about the right wing is the right wing has been soft. The patriarch has been soft. It's been too benevolent. That's why I'm a sexist. Thank you for backing me up on that, Crane. We need to stop being so goddamn benevolent. We need to be a strong, dominant patriarch again. Thank you. I agree with you. Good point. Solid point. I don't have a fire extinguisher either. See, you have no fucking survival skills. You have no fucking instincts. That's your problem. And then you want to get mad at me because I have instincts. Point and match, ladies and gentlemen. Checkmate. Fucking checkmate. I'll be honest, I don't have a fire extinguisher either, but I have fire. Hey. Click, clack, bang. Right? Right, folks? I don't have any buttons. I'm sorry. It sucks. It sucks. We try though. We continue. We keep fighting. You know. You see how like I get serious because I made a bad joke. Trying to get over the non-laughter. Okay. Yeah, but you know, be prepared. That's all it is. You're getting mad at us for being prepared. You know, and then when you get fucking robbed and mugged, you just go, hey, you know, I can't. It is what it is. He needed it more than I did. That's literally you just trying to fucking like keep your balls from shrinking. It's like, do you remember when in the Flintstones when Fred felt embarrassed, he would get really small, and Wilma would like look down at him, and he would have that little voice. You know, I don't know. That's you. That's you without a gun. You make excuses because you're too much of a bitch to own a gun. You're scared of it. And all you got to do is go out to the range, get a little comfortable with it. Some ranges, you don't even need to buy a gun. You can rent it. Get comfortable with it, and then you'll start appreciating just the invention of a gun. You know? And this idiot says you're preparing for civil war. Abso-fucking-lutely, I am. You goddamn moron. That's what the Second Amendment was for. Tyranny. And self-preservation. Again, just because you don't know how to preserve your life or protect your family, don't get mad at me because I do. And it's like the difference is like, I bet you'd go like, hey, man, you have a lot of hope. I think that's what it is. You have a lot of hope in humanity. It's like, do you remember Cedric the Entertainer? He had the thing where white people have I hope in them. Black people have I wish. Get a gun. You'll have some I wish in you. Like, you hope nobody robs you. I wish somebody would fucking rob me. You see what I'm saying? You're a bitch. I'm a man. That's the difference. And you're mad at me because I'm a man. And you make little fucking points like, you're preparing for civil war. Yes, 100%. What's your argument? What's your point? They're literally killing people, assassinating people in cold blood for their political points. You don't think civil war is like a fucking like possibility at this point? You jerk off. Maybe last week you could have made that argument and I'd sound like an idiot. So yeah. I don't know what and then I do hate is learned behavior. That's what he says, Crane. Anything, I don't know what I said that was hateful. You wish somebody would rob you. Yeah, absolutely. I don't hope somebody robs me, but I wish a motherfucker would. See, you question that because you don't understand being a man. You don't understand that the world is a fucking fucked up, violent place, and that just is what it is. And you got to be capable of violence. I'm not a violent person, but I'm capable of violence. You're not. You're a sheep. You're ready to be picked. You're a fucking herb, as we say in the hood. You're a mark, nigga. Oh, man. Yeah, so that's basically what's happening here. Is Crane is a mark, and he's mad at me for not being a mark. He thinks I should be a mark. Skrill says it. I wish a nigga would. Exactly. Again, don't hope for it. I don't want it. And I'm not even saying that I would definitely come out on top of that. But I'm not an easy target. That's all I'm saying. You are, Crane. You are. Real easy target. Even going on the internet publicly and saying that your fucking house is a gun-free zone. What a goddamn retard. You just put your whole family at risk. I'd say delete your comments and I'd be fine with it. Or get a gun. Be a man and get a fucking gun. Sorry, I'm here arguing with a fucking commenter. All right, I think that's it. Skrill knows. Something about that the smell of gunpowder. Something about that, like just seeing the fucking racking a motherfucking gun. It's beautiful. And you gotta be a man to do that. You can't be a bitch to rack a gun. Rifles are a little different because those are easier to rack from what I see. Pistols, you gotta have a little bit of like fucking grip on you. Unless you have like a Springfield or something like that. Those motherfuckers are just beautiful. You could accidentally fucking cock that bitch. Wrap this up, fool. Wrap this shit up, fool. I'm outside. Yeah, I know. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm annoyed with Crane. I'm just enjoying this train. He says I have a car. All right. What are you, a black woman? What are you, a stripper? You fucking run people over? What are you, Muslim? What are you, a black Hebrew Israelite? Fucking just stop being a cheap bastard and buy a gun. It's not that expensive. I bet you he lives in a really liberal city that it's really hard to get a gun. Really hard. Scroll, my personal favorite is the Springfield. Oh my God, those are like, it's almost like a toy. You ever like fucking cock a Springfield? It's like, it doesn't even feel real. That's the only reason why I want one. It's like it's built with a DW40 fucking like it spritz out DW40 on the rail. It's perfect. It's perfect. Well made piece of machinery. Guns are just a great fucking invention. They really are. I have power tools. Okay. All right, there's a little man in you. You got a little man in you. Now, when you say power tools, you actually have like a real collection of power tools? Or do you have like that little like fucking that little kit? It's like Phillips or something like that. And it's like a little kit that everything is in one. It's like a 24 piece. Because bitches own shit like that. Men have like a real collection of power tools. Like you piece it together. Okay. All right, let me get the fuck out of here. Let me leave. Let me just end it. All right, guys, thank you so much. I don't have anything here because I refuse to pay for the StreamYard. It's just overpriced. And I'm being a principled asshole on this one because I used to pay for it, but it's just like $40 a month. I couldn't justify it when I only use it like once or twice a year. Maybe I'll actually get back into it because I'm gonna start doing more of these streams where I have guests come on and debate. So yeah, just stay tuned. Stay tuned to the channel. I do appreciate everybody. Even Crane, you bitch ass nigga. I appreciate you. Skrill Kill. I think I just shouted out everybody. That's what I was doing. Brian Brumbelow, you know the deal. Lisa Marie, everybody. Everybody, I appreciate you all. And shout outs to OG Mumbling Nick for coming on the first time, coming on the Misfit Nation. Again, I've been on his show probably like, I don't know, 2-3 times. We've done like streams together countless times on other people's stuff. So me and Nick have a long, like, you know, maybe for the past year we've been having like these conversations. So that's why it wasn't like we've already had our contentious debate. And again, like Nick is I think relatively reasonable. The Luigi thing, I delved into that a little bit, but I felt like he backed off of that a little bit. So, you know, I think he understands like that there's a dark side to it, and that he's not willing to really. He's kind of dabbling, which is the dabbling thing. But you know, I think Nick could be somebody that could be turned at some point. So I have hope in Nick. But also Nick personally, you know, there was some things that happened behind the scenes that he really helped me out with. I don't know if help is the proper word, but he had my back on some things. And he defended me publicly on a lot of things. So there's also a little bit of soft spot I have for Nick. So shout outs to OG Mumbling Nick. I appreciate you. And yeah. Crane says, don't call me nigga. I'm not cool with that. Everything else is fine. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I use the term loosely. I don't know what's the recourse here? Are you a colored fella? Is that why there's sensitivity? Let me know. I'll give you a chance to respond. And then I can understand where you're coming from. Because you could be a groiper who doesn't want to be called nigga. I get it. I get it. But I also call everybody that. Specifically, I'm talking about black folks, but I still call everybody that. If you're acting like one, I will call you one. That is a rule on this show. That's my right as a host of a show. I could do that. Yeah, so like Crane, if you host your own show, you can say whatever you want. I'm only rambling to give you time to type. I'll give you until 11:59 on my side. No, I'm a middle-aged white man. Now it's getting interesting. Now things are getting interesting. So what's the now I kind of want to have you on the show. I was expecting younger black male. 19 to 35. Actually, that could go up till maybe 65. I host NBA jams. Now you lost me. Now you lost me. Now I don't even want you on the show. Now I'm mad I wasted this amount of time on you. Was that a joke? Or am I just not getting it? Or am I too slow? Is it low IQ shit? Are you trolling me with being a middle-aged white man? Let me know. Where do you live? Now he's trying to dox me. Now he's trying to dox me. You prick. All right, well, listen, Crane, you can come back and talk to us anytime. Reach out to me if you want on at Krishan the Don. As you see on the screen, Krishan the Don, spelled exactly like it is on the screen, on X. And if you want to come on the show, you can. I'll give you your time, and we can debate. We can talk. Debate, discussion, whatever you want to do. And I can tell you that. I live in South Florida. Because I make that known on my show. And we are very pro-gun here. Actually, open carry. We're allowed to open carry. I think after the 26th or something like that. Which, I'm going to still conceal. I think it's just a smarter thing to do. I'd suggest anybody to conceal, continue concealing. But I think it'd be cool. I could carry a gun. I could put my pistol on my hip like I'm John fucking Marston and walk around. Now, you know what's crazy? There's that guy who's been doing the open carry videos. I forget his name. He's a South Florida guy. What the fuck is he gonna do? They just kind of ruined his whole channel. He goes around and open carries, and then when people like, he's actually like hunting or fishing. You're allowed to open carry if you're hunting or fishing, and he does that, and then people come up to him and go like, "Why are you open carrying?" And police will come up to him and check him. Yeah, now he's like an auditor. Now what is he gonna do? Now we can all just do it. Maybe he won. Maybe he just goes to fishing. He just fishes all day. Enjoys the fruits of his labor. Yeah, I forget his name, Skrill. I don't know if you can remember. It's like South Florida something, fisherman or something like that. You know who I'm talking about. He's like the racially ambiguous fella. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for watching. You can follow us, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. The Misfit Nation podcast. This is our backup channel because our main channel was demonetized and then suspended and then striked completely because we told the truth. So I have no regrets about that. So we'll just rebuild, we'll repopulate the Misfit Nation. So follow us here at the Misfit Nation podcast on YouTube. Also on Rumble at the Misfit Nation. If you want to support us, go over to Buy Me a Coffee at Misfit Nation. Just Misfit Nation. Podbean.com. That's misfitnation.podbean.com if you want just the audio version. I'll probably pop this up on Podbean. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And I think that might be it. I think Odyssey. We're still on Odyssey. I think. I don't know. You know, but we're winning the culture again. That's the thing. It scares the lefties, but we're winning the culture. And yeah, maybe we'll take these platforms back. We took back X. And now, yeah, it's kind of like a shit show. But we do get a lot of truth from there, unlike we used to. Unlike when it was like fucking like everything was fucking banned. I think at least we get more truth than we did before. So yeah, sure, take the good with the bad. But follow us on X at the Misfit Nation. You can follow me on X as well at Krishan the Don. I said that earlier. If you want to get on the show, we're very open to having people. I may do some open panel stuff pretty soon. Yeah, we got some stuff, we're trying to figure out. I'm trying to get the time to do it. So, and also let me thank OG Mumbling Nick for giving the time on my channel here. That means a lot to me. So, all right. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. Fuck off, everybody. Hallelujah. Holla back.